Health editor Fred Bottomer. That story is coming up.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Cloudy today with showers and some heavier thunderstorms around, high 69.
And when we talk to Joe next hour, we'll ask him to forecast this Cardinals game day, 12:15 first pitch, Cardinals and Mets at Busch Stadium. Will the rain affect that? That'll be the question for a lot of people. We'll discuss that and the club, as the Cardinals won a game yesterday, shut out the Mets. That's on the way in 15 minutes at 6 o'clock.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump plans to brief the nation tonight on the Iran war after giving a new estimate on how long the fight will continue. Correspondent Jared Hill.
Ahead of a wartime address, President Trump with an update on when the U.S. will get out of Iran.
I think we're 2 or 3 weeks.
3 weeks. If it is,
we'll leave.
While the president says negotiations continue, in a phone interview with CBS News, he argued he doesn't need a deal to end the war.
Regime change was not one of the things I had as a goal. I had one goal. They will have no nuclear weapon.
Fuel prices are still climbing. The national average for a gallon of gas in the U.S. up a few more cents from yesterday to $4.06 a gallon. It'll be a first for a modern-day sitting U.S. president. Mr. Trump says he'll be there later this morning when the Supreme Court takes up his order to end birthright citizenship. Loyola Law's Lori Levinson.
The ruling in this case could have such a dramatic impact on individuals in the United States and children who will be born here in the future.
A federal judge has ruled the Trump administration did nothing wrong when it asked the University of Pennsylvania to turn over a list of Jewish employees.
The Trump administration says it asked for those names and numbers as part of its investigation into anti-Semitism at the school. Many Jewish students and faculty members liken the subpoena from the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission to a Nazi tactic. The judge ruled the administration was within its rights to find anyone in Penn's Jewish community who may have experienced or witnessed anti-Semitism. He gave the university until May 1st to hand over the list. Penn says it doesn't keep a list of employees and students by religion. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
We're just hours away from a U.S. return to the moon. Artemis 2 is waiting to lift off this evening on the first lunar mission since 1972. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman.
It's a stepping stone for all the things that we are going to do farther out into our solar system.
CBS's Peter King from Kennedy Space Center.
Artemis 2 will spend 24 hours in a long Earth orbit just to make sure all of its crucial systems work before heading to the moon. Assuming that's the case, the crew will fly by the moon and photograph areas that humans have never seen before, either in person or through pictures.
Tiger Woods says he'll seek treatment after flipping his SUV in Florida last week. Police deputies say he was sweating profusely. His eyes were bloodshot before they arrested him for DUI. They also say they found painkillers in his pocket. Former Palm Beach County State Attorney David Arenberg.
I've seen a lot of cases of people who have had many more DUIs than Tiger Woods. The difference is that Tiger Woods is an international celebrity, so everything he does is under a microscope.
This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Mornings.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute.
Gail came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
It is 6:03, and right now in downtown St. Louis, it is still just partly, I'd say mostly cloudy, and 63 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. One teen is dead and another is in critical condition following a double shooting at a school track meet in Ferguson. The shooting took place around 7 o'clock last night in the parking lot of STEAM Academy at McClure, South Berkeley. The 14-year-old victim has been pronounced dead, while the other teen, whose age has not been released, is in critical condition. The suspect is a 13-year-old and is in juvenile custody.
Ferguson police say all 3 of the teens involved were males, but none were students at the academy.
I am heartbroken. I don't want to see any child get hurt. Not at all. And it's just hard. It breaks my heart.
That is Ferguson Mayor Ella Jones telling Fox 2 she'll visit the academy today to reassure students that they are safe.
St. Louis County prosecutor is filing charges against 2 women involved in this week's missing child hoax.
31-year-old Kayla Williams and 29-year-old Ashley Collins are charged with making a false police report and misuse of 911. The two are accused of calling police Monday to report a stolen car with a 5-year-old girl inside, triggering an Amber Alert you may have received on your phone. The report mobilized officers from multiple departments with tactical units and air support before investigators determined the missing child was completely fabricated. Prosecuting attorney Melissa Price Smith says every minute a police officer spends chasing a ghost is a minute they are unavailable for a real victim of violence. Her office says the hoax resulted in significant taxpayer expense. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
St. Louis police have arrested the man accused of shooting at an officer Monday night. 45-year-old Demetrius Ingram was taken into custody after being found hiding in a garage on Lawn Avenue near Filer, not far from the Quick Trip and Home Depot in that area. A firearm was recovered at the scene. That manhunt involved officers from across the department, including K-9 Air Support and the U.S. Marshals.
So is it a problem? Yes. Is it as big a problem here as some other places? No.
That is St. Charles County Executive Steve Ellman talking about the issue of undocumented immigrants.
Well, any given day, we'll have anywhere from 20 to 30 illegal immigrants in our jail. As soon as they get there, we call ICE.
Monday night, the county council unanimously passed a bill that would have local officers work with ICE. Ellman says they've already been doing it, and this would offer additional training of up to 10 of their officers. More than 1,000 letters in opposition were presented to the council from citizens saying police should not be helping with immigration enforcement.
I don't have a firm set of requirements I can discuss here.
That's St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer responding to why the St. Louis Public Service Board did not vote yesterday on a proposed data center next to the Armory in the old Famous Bar warehouse.
St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer says she is delaying the vote on the $3 billion data center to allow more time for review. She admits she's not looked in depth at the conditions of the permits and as to whether the public should have some say-so in this before a vote.
I think that there should be some public component to that. How that sort of rolls out, to be direct with you, we don't have that ironed out, all the sort of components about that.
Spencer did not give a timeline when the Public Service Board might vote on the data center. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Also in the news, 2 local chefs and 3 area restaurants are James Beard finalists announced yesterday by the 2026 James Beard Foundation Awards. The best chefs in the Midwest category, Lauren Nalick of Balkan Treat Box in Webster Groves, Nick Bogner of Sato, Indo, and Pavilion. National finalists include Louis in Demond for Best Hospitality, Vicia for Best Restaurant, and Robin in Maplewood for Best New Restaurant.
Nick Bogner was named a rising star in 2019 and 2020, and Indo has been nominated for Best Restaurant. Lauren Nalick has been nominated in the Best Chef category now 5 times. The last local winner was in 2017 when Kevin Nashin of Sydney Street Cafe won Best Chef Midwest, and Joya's Deli that year was named one of America's classics. Winners for the 2026 James Beard Awards will be announced in June in Chicago.
From the KMOX Business Desk, a labor studies analyst says people don't need to rethink how to approach a career due to AI. Instead, he says they need to evolve with technology.
I don't think we need to rethink it. I think we need to, refresh it.
That's his labor studies coordinator for the University of Missouri System, Doug Swanson. He tells Missouri Net, businesses and employers who are the most effective at preparing people for the workforce are constantly embracing and evolving with technology.
It's the businesses and others that are wanting to stay the way it is that suffer. If you're not willing to change, you have to decide when you're going to go out of business.
Swanson says it's the same for individuals in the workforce, and if they evolve, they'll make it too.
It is 6:08. If you stick around, we'll get you an update on traffic and weather here on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are discussing esophageal cancer with Dr. Raymond Jin, WashU Medicine medical oncologist at Siteman Cancer Center. Dr. Jin, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything that one can do to prevent esophageal cancer?
Sure, that's a topic that's near and dear, close to my heart. What's interesting for me is that esophageal cancers we see here in the West in the United States are kind of what we call distal, so they're kind of further down, and they start from the inside and grow out. They all kind of originate from a precursor state called Barrett's esophagus. It's basically caused by years of chronic reflux. So if, a GI person does an endoscopy, sticks a camera down there, we can actually see these Barrett's lesions.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
What are you seeing out there, Roger Brand, overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center?
Well, not too much right now, Tom. If you're heading out the door, I do see a little bit of a slowdown. Westbound 64 just west of 111 on the Illinois side. And they're dispatching EMS for a crash. Again, they had one reported near Research Park earlier. I don't see it. I don't see any delays, but I just heard an EMS call go out just a second ago. So they maybe have located something I didn't see when I was looking around. But nonetheless, just watch it. Roads are wet from overnight rain, so you just have to use a little caution. No matter where you are this morning, things look okay on Maryland Heights Expressway. We had some signals out there last evening due to a crash, but I'm not seeing any issues. I was checking with Maryland Heights Police for an update, and I don't see anything saying that they've fixed that problem, but I don't see any delays there yet either, but there's just not a lot of volume out there right now. Next update at 6:20 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
It is 6:11 from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk. Lots of rain on the way. Today, periods of rain and a couple of thunderstorms, a high of 69. Joe Lundberg says if you have tickets to the game today, well, you're going to want to keep a heads up because, well, it may or may not happen. Shower thunderstorm around early tonight. And the temperature will rise through the evening, through the late 60s. Tomorrow, another stormy day with thunderstorms that could produce hail and damaging winds. Warmer tomorrow. Today, high 69. Tomorrow, 79. And then Friday, a spotty shower thunderstorm with a high of 81, but some severe thunderstorms possible Friday night. Currently, it is 63 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
Roughly 1,200 steel workers are headed back to Granite City Works. This comes after Nippon Steel, the new owner of U.S. Steel, started the idled plant this week following 2.5 years of downtime. Union President Craig McKee says for many, it's been a grinding wait.
What's the mood around there? How do people feel? What are they saying?
Well, everybody's excited. So we had long downtime. A lot of folks had to go find other jobs. Some of them have since came back, but for the employees, myself included, we've been waiting some time for this decision to be made, and we're there now, and we're all very happy about it.
McKee tells KMOX's Michael Calhoun he expects the workforce to return to its 2023 level of about 1,300 employees within days. Megan Lynch goes in-depth live with the Granite City mayor at 8 o'clock.
You'll continue to see those functions grow in our city staff program.
That's St. Louis Operations Director Ben Johnson talking about CityStat, something that allows everyone to see how well the city of St. Louis is responding to calls for service and track the progress. One big question, potholes. Here's Streets Department Director James Jackson.
Currently, we have over about 252 pothole requests in our system. As the mayor shared, we closed out over 700 of those. We had over 900 that we received in the month of March.
Jackson reiterates they have already repaired more than 700, but if you see a pothole or you happen to drive into one, in the city, you can call, tweet, or email the Citizen Service Bureau.
I'm Michael Calhoun. St. Louis is not alone in trying to track its potholes.
We have to work with urgency to fix these long-standing problems in the city.
In New Orleans, Mayor Helena Moreno took office and immediately set a goal of filling 1,500 potholes a week.
So that's, 6,000 a month?
She says the pace is non-negotiable. New York City has repaired more than 36,000 potholes since January 1st, with an average response time of 2 days after a report. Chicago runs a pothole tracker showing every repair made in the past 7 days down to the block. And Philadelphia closed about 4,000 of nearly 6,000 reported potholes over the past year, but took 15 days on average to do it.
St. Louis City SC says this summer's World Cup is more than a sports event. It's a once-in-a-generation chance to hook new fans on soccer. President Diego Giuliani on what's at stake.
This is the opportunity in front of us now. There will be millions, no, hundreds of millions, probably billions of boys and girls around the world, but particularly in the U.S. and for sure in St. Louis, that will form lifelong memories from this summer. They will get their first taste of our sport.
To reach those young fans, the club is hosting what it calls 40 Days of Soccer, daily soccer activities at locations across the region, including North City, downtown, the Hill, and Forest Park. City SC is also partnering with the Missouri Youth Soccer Association on a 5-on-5 youth tournament for kids ages 8 through 12, with championship matches to be played on the Energizer Park pitch. As for the World Cup, the 48-team field is complete after a qualifying process that spanned more than 2.5 years. Iraq defeated Bolivia 2-1 in an intercontinental playoff in Monterrey, Mexico yesterday to secure the 48th spot. Congo took the next to last place after a 1-0 extra time win over Jamaica at Guadalajara. There were 6 World Cup places on the line on the last day of qualifying, 4 in Europe, 2 in the Intercontinental Playoffs in Mexico. Bosnia and Herzegovina advanced after upsetting Italy on penalties. Sweden, Turkey, and Czechia also qualified. And yes, that means Italy is out. I know, it's unthinkable, but the 4-time champion Italy is out again. This is the 3rd straight World Cup that Italy will miss. They were beaten in a penalty shootout with 10 men at 66th ranked Bosnia and Herzegovina in the European playoffs. As for baseball, it's time for our Redbird Report. It's sponsored by Restoration One of Greater St. Louis. Here's Matt Pauley.
Ivan Herrera has a profound impact on the Cardinals' 3-0 shutout of the Mets. Arguably the Cardinals' top hitter. He starts the season slow, coming into the game hitting just 118, but he gets the Cardinals on the board with a 2-run double in the third. Manager Oliver Marmol is happy with the approach at the plate.
Some of the swings he took today were really good. I like where he's at. He's got it hard on himself when it's not going well, but just the way he's talking about his swing and kind of how he's feeling and what we saw today was definitely a positive.
Working as the catcher, he navigates starter Andre Palante and 4 relievers through a shutout of a very good Mets lineup.
Just his ability to navigate this lineup, it's a tough one, and what he did with Andre was really good. Him being able to catch all 9 and just stay in there because of what he was doing behind the plate was important and a confidence builder for him as well. Overall, I loved what he did offensively and what he was able to do behind the plate.
Herrera also has the first 2 batter ABS challenges in Cardinals history with a pair of overturns in the 5th inning before he draws a walk. At Busch Stadium, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
The Cardinals, with their 3-0 win over the Mets, did it with great pitching as Andre Palante went 5 innings in his first start with this new look changeup. He looked great. 5 innings of scoreless ball, allowed just 3 hits. He walked 3. He struck out 3. Gordon Graceffo, who came in onto this roster yesterday for Matt Bouchard, who goes on the IL, pitched a scoreless frame. Ryan Stanek did the same. Jojo Romero in the 8th. Riley O'Brien shut it down in the 9th for the save. The Cardinals win 3-0. Matthew Liberatore makes the start today. It's a 12:15 first pitch. Weather permitting, Freddie Peralta starts for New York. The Blues play tonight at L.A. 8 o'clock face-off for them. The Blues remain 4 points out of a playoff spot in the Western Conference. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Do you ever feel like people are mumbling more than they used to? Or maybe conversations at restaurants and family gatherings have gotten harder to follow? If this sounds familiar, it might be time to learn more about your hearing. That's why we're inviting you to a special lunch and learn at the Audiology Center. This event is on April 29th for various time slots. It's a relaxed and friendly gathering where our certified audiologists will talk about hearing and hearing loss, answer your questions, and share how today's hearing aids can help you connect with the moments that matter most. Hearing loss often happens slowly, and many people don't realize how much they're missing. It's important to know how untreated hearing loss can negatively affect you in the long term. It's a no-pressure event, just good conversation and good information, and lunch is on us. Seats are limited, so please call 636-441-7470 to reserve your spot for our free lunch and learn at the Audiology Center on April 29th. Take the first step towards hearing more clearly.
Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:20. This is Total Information AM. So let's get you updated right now on your ride in and the weather as well. Looking at my little weather barometer, that would be the street light between us and Soldiers Memorial. It is not raining in downtown St. Louis, maybe just a very light drizzle, but a lot on the way. So just stay tuned. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, it's too dark for me to see if it's raining or not either, Debbie, but I can see the spray coming off the vehicles as I'm looking at the highways right now. This traffic reports a service at Chesterfield, Fence and Neck, and we are starting to slow down a bit out to the west in the Wentzville area. Southbound 61 bogged down, Wentzville Parkway onto 64. Eastbound 64 a little slow approaching Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Eastbound 70 looks a little slow right through that Highway Z area. Other than that, there's a trace of a slowdown northbound 55 passing 141 up to the Merrimack River. Of course, that's a construction zone these days, so just a little bit busy there. But the slowdown we had westbound 64 west of 111, that must have been a minor incident. They cleared it, and things have thinned out. Illinois interstates look great. 64 through O'Fallon, Fairview Heights there, and it's still clear westbound across the bridges downtown. Chesterfield Fence Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. Next update is 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Taking another look at that radar, we have rain falling to the north of our listening area. Certainly out west, St. Charles and O'Fallon, Wentzville are still getting it now, starting to move into Chesterfield a bit. But to the north of us, Hardin, Jerseyville, Carlinville, Illinois, getting soaked. Edwardsville dry at the moment. But we are going to see some rain, says AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg, a high of 69 today. Rain and a couple of thunderstorms off and on today. Watch for ponding on streets and highways. A shower and thunderstorm around early tonight, low 63. Tomorrow, heavy thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon, and a high of 79 degrees. It's 64 right now.
6:23, Mercy St. Louis is about to become the first hospital in Missouri to use a new sci-fi-like technique to destroy liver tumors without a single incision. KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer spoke with Dr. Peter DePasco, a surgical oncologist at Mercy St. Louis.
It's a really exciting time for us as an oncology service to introduce histotripsy to Missouri. This is a completely non-invasive way to destroy tumors using focused sound waves. There's no incision, there's no radiation, there's no needles. We're essentially liquefying these tumors with precision, and Mercy is the first in Missouri to offer it.
It's called the Edison system. Tell us more about how it will be done. And it's a bubble clouds. What is that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's called the Edison histotrypsy device, and it's by a company called Histosonics. And essentially, it uses a tried and true technology, ultrasound type technology, in a very different and innovative way. And what it does is, as you described there, it creates tiny microscopic bubble clouds within a targeted tumor. And basically what that means in simple terms is it's using the fluid and water vapors that exist within our cells, because we're mostly made out of water, to create these little bubbles that instantaneously expand and then collapse. And in that process of expansion and collapse, that snap of the bubble popping, it creates a mechanical disruption. It breaks the cells that where it's occurring and liquefies it. It turns it literally into a liquid media. That's pretty remarkable.
How exciting is this for you and for patients?
Well, this is terribly exciting because, the paradigm of surgery is changing a bit. And I want to take one little comment to say that we're not replacing surgery with this. Traditional surgery it still is the best option for many, many patients. But what this does is it provides a new option for patients that were either not surgical candidates or had tumors that were located in difficult locations that were simply too dangerous to operate on.
Can this process work with other tumors?
So right now, the FDA has only approved it for liver tumors. There are several trials in play to develop its use for prostate, pancreas, even future-reaching ideas like breast and other areas. But right now, kidney is probably the next to come along, so kidney tumors. And right now, it is only for liver tumors.
When will you start using this at Mercy?
Imminently. We are in the final planning stages. The end of April, we should be going live. So it's tremendously exciting time for us.
And who qualifies for this?
So this actually opens up the door quite a bit to a lot of different patients that previously were not able to have liver surgery, as I said, for various reasons before. So anyone with a solid tumor of the liver can be evaluated.
How common is liver cancer, Dr. DePasco?
Liver cancer is one of the lesser common cancers that exists out there, but unfortunately the challenge is it's a devastating type of diagnosis. And it depends on which way you're looking at that. Primary liver cancer, folks that develop a cancer of the liver from the liver itself, is less common, but metastatic liver tumors, such as many people out there that have colorectal cancer, for instance, and develop a metastasis where the cancer spreads to their liver, this is applicable for them as well. And that's a very large group of patients.
What are the symptoms, and is there any testing to find liver cancer early?
Sure. So unfortunately, one of the problems with liver cancers is you often don't know you have it. There aren't many symptoms, really. It's more prevention and observation. Patients who are avoiding certain long-term illnesses like hepatitis C infections of the liver, alcohol use and alcoholism and cirrhotic liver changes, trying to avoid the prerequisites that lead towards liver cancer for primary liver cancers. Now, for the patients who have metastatic disease, these are patients that are either identified at diagnosis due to the symptoms of their colon cancers, for instance, or are found to develop tumors in their liver as they progress on through treatment and observation of the colon cancer.
And that is Dr. Peter DePasco, surgical oncologist at Mercy St. Louis and chief physician executive for Mercy Cancer Services, speaking with Fred Bottomer.
It's 6:28. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. We all procrastinate. We put things off, confident we'll have time later. Well, one who procrastinates in choosing will inevitably have their choices made for them by circumstance. Could be an illness or even a death. And it happened to me. I was widowed at 41. It could happen to you. If you procrastinate and fail to plan for your future, for your children, circumstances and the courts will make your plans for you without your input. Eamon Gantner and Capriano help thousands of families plan for their future now. We can be your personal attorney too, guiding you with a will, trust, powers of attorney, Medicaid, and VA. You may delay, but time does not. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, yourestateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
It is now 6:30, and in downtown St. Louis, we have 62 degrees with cloudy skies. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're doing all right out there right now. Of course, we're getting a little bit busier, but again, we're getting rain in some places. I definitely see spray coming off cars, so roads are going to be wet at the very least, depending on where you are. So just pay attention on the drive in. If you're on southbound 61, you're starting to bog down now. Not a jam, but it is slow. From Highway P down to 64, eastbound 70 coming through Highway Z. That's a little bit busy out to the west on the south side. If you're coming up northbound 55, you look good down in Festus. We do have a bit of a slowdown now north of the Union Road overpass up through Weber. Northbound 270 looks a little busy approaching Manchester. And on the Illinois side, westbound 64, just a brief slowdown as you get just immediately west of 159 in that construction zone. Otherwise, the rest of the highways still fairly light for you so far and incident-free. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We've got pretty much nothing but showers and thunderstorms in this forecast all the way until Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday will be mostly sunny and 60 for your Easter egg hunts, but probably muddy after all this rain. Today, a period of rain and a couple of thunderstorms, high of 69 degrees. We'll have some storms moving through tonight and tomorrow, thunderstorms that could produce hail and damaging winds with a high of 79, a spotty shower or thunderstorm on Friday with some severe thunderstorms moving in Friday night. Right now, it's 62 degrees.
A shooting on the north side marks St. Louis's 18th homicide of the year. A 55-year-old woman has been pronounced dead after a shooting that took place around 9 p.m. last night. Our partners at Fox 2 report it happened in the Sherman Park neighborhood. The suspect is in custody, but police have not released either the suspect or the victim's name. At this time last year, the region had experienced 19 homicides. That number is substantially lower than the number from March of 24, which was 28.
We have a follow-up on the $37 million verdict against two St. Louis police officers. One of the officers, Ryan Murphy, is still in the department. Thomas Streckfuss resigned in 2020.
That's a considerable judgment.
Mayor Spencer says that, combined with the demands of the St. Louis Police Board of Commissioners for a massive budget increase, is a problem for the city.
What the police board has proposed to the city of St. Louis is not only far outside that state required allocation, and it is not grounded in reality.
Spencer did not go into any specifics about where that $37 million jury award to Tyrone Edwards would come from. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
There's a new candidate in the race for St. Louis County Executive to replace Sam Page. State Senator Angela Walton Mosley's candidate filing came on the final day to enter the race. That means there will be a three-way Democratic primary.
Mosley was first elected to the state Senate in 2021, representing a North County district. She'll compete with County Assessor Jake Zimmerman and fellow state Senator Brian Williams in the Democratic primary. The only Republican running is County Councilman Dennis Hancock.
It's 6:33. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Minute next.
Who's been talking about St. Louis sports since 1985? Bernie Miklasz.
This is going to be a likable team. I don't know how many games you're going to win. You're down 7-1, and at that point, they weren't deflated. They weren't demoralized. They're like, all right, good for you guys. You hit us in the mouth. You drew blood. We just tasted our own blood. Now we're going to knock you on your ass. Let's go.
Bernie Miklasz. Hear what he has to say on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-566-3062. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-566-3062. That's 800-566-3062. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It is 6:36. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey along with Tom Ackerman. We'll check in with Roger Brand and our AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg here in about 4 minutes. But first, your money report sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano, elder law attorneys.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Elon Musk is facing more backlash now from Twitter shareholders over the run-up to his buyout of the social media platform. A judge granted class action status to investors who say they were harmed when the billionaire blasted misleading tweets to get a better deal to buy Twitter in 2022. The ruling amplifies their leverage to force a settlement or go to trial. Stock futures are higher today after Wall Street ended the month with its best day of the year. The Dow added more than 1,000 points, up 2.5% Tuesday, and the S&P added close to 3%, its biggest gain since May. Oil prices also dropped over the president's comments about potentially ending the war in Iran soon, with crude now around $100 a barrel. And Verizon just released a new ad featuring heated rivalry star Connor Story at a time when the mobile carrier is facing its own heated rivalry. Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T have all been promoting new offerings and lifestyle perks to win over subscribers. The ads racked up millions of views. Monica Ricks, Bloomberg Radio.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world. And our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. At Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norm Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This afternoon,
The Cards, the Mets,
Cameron Total Access 1120. First pitch 12:15.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
6:40 time for traffic and weather. So far, it's just kind of a breezy morning, and I guess this is the pause before the storms begin. We'll get you the latest on the weather in just a moment, but let's check the roadways with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, aside from being wet, that's about the worst of it out there right now, Debbie. This traffic report service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. And we do have some slowdowns, obviously, but even if it was dry, we'd be building volume. So you're looking at some slow traffic on northbound 55, approaching 141, maybe midway up from Richardson Road up to the Merrimack River as you enter that construction area. Not quite as bad. Bayless up through Weber, there's a couple little busy spots, but not that big of a deal. Still that slowdown, North 270 right around Gravel, and another one as you approach Manchester briefly. More volume out west. That's the slowest spot we've got. Southbound 61 is off the pace, approaching Highway P, all the way on to 64 through Lake St. Louis Boulevard, eastbound 70 around Z, and then A to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. It's heavy. Another little slowdown at Bryan Road, another one at Cave Springs. And on the Illinois side, it's a little busy on the Poplar, and westbound 64 has some slow traffic just west of 159 right now as well. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg joins us now. And for Cardinals fans who are preparing for a 12:15 game against the Mets, what's the outlook?
The outlook is it's going to be wet probably up until game time. There's one band of rain that's kind of lifting to our north and east right now. We'll get a little bit of light rain here in the next 30 minutes. There'll be a break. And then another band of rain and thunder will move through here a little bit later on this morning. By lunchtime, most of that's moving off to our east, and there's a few-hour window this afternoon where there's little to no rain in the area. So maybe we could sneak that one in there. Maybe delayed at the start, but I think we got a shot to get it in. Temperatures will stay in the 60s for highs this afternoon. Shower and thunderstorm in the area this evening, and then it's just cloudy overnight. Low 63, but then temperatures rise for the 60s late tonight. A windy, warmer day tomorrow. Ahead of a weak front, there'll be a couple of showers and a heavier thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon. Those thunderstorms could be severe tomorrow afternoon. Hail and damaging winds, the main threats, the high 79. Friday, a little quieter with clouds and sun, a warm breeze. There could be a spotty shower or thunderstorm, the high 81. As a front presses in from the west on Friday night, there will be some severe weather to contend with. Saturday, some rain and a thunderstorm in the morning. That should taper off and end in the afternoon, but it turns cooler. We start in the 60s and end in the 50s. Easter Sunday looks good with sunshine, the high about 60. 51 at St. Peter's, 50 in Florissant, cloudy, 56 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, thanks, Joe. It is now 7:43. President Trump says high gas prices will fall as soon as the U.S. ends its military action in Iran, which he says will be in 2 or 3 weeks.
What happens in the Strait, we're not going to have anything to do with, because these countries, China will go up and they'll fuel up their beautiful ships and they'll leave and they'll take care of themselves. There's no reason for us to do it.
The Jewish celebration of Passover begins tonight, and with the state of the world affairs, there are concerns about temples and synagogues where many will gather for community celebrations.
That's especially important to carry on for the Congregation of Temple Israel in West Bloomfield, Michigan, where a suspect rammed a vehicle into the building site of a school, driving it into the main hallway. The man died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The FBI says he was inspired to retaliate for the U.S. war on Iran. CBS News Detroit reporter Alyssa Bergio.
Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard tells CBS News Detroit his team is committed to keeping everyone safe, especially as families gather during Passover.
You'll see increased presence and extra patrol around Jewish temples and synagogues. We're aware to the heightened threat and the feelings that people have out there, and they should see some visible presence as well as things that they may not see.
As the community recovers with resilience, Bouchard has this message.
We'd rather check out 100 nothings and miss one real deal.
A federal judge has ruled the Trump administration did nothing wrong when it asked the University of Pennsylvania to turn over a list of Jews on campus.
The Trump administration says it asked for those names and numbers as part of its investigation into anti-Semitism at the school. Many Jewish students and faculty members liken the subpoena from the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission to a Nazi tactic. The judge ruled the administration was within its rights to find anyone in Penn's Jewish community who may have experienced or witnessed anti-Semitism. He gave the university until May 1st to hand over the list. Penn says it doesn't keep a list of employees and students by religion. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
It's time for Who's Hot, Who's Not, sponsored by St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories. Here's Matt Pauley pitching very good last night.
Cardinals pitcher Andre Palante making his first start of the year, throwing 5+ scoreless innings in a 3-0 win against the Mets. He's on his game, inducing 9 groundouts, and 1 year after pitching to a 5.31 ERA. Manager Oliver Marmol so far likes the 2026 version of Palante.
Super proud of that start for him, just the amount of work that's being put in. His spring was a really good one. His willingness to commit to that changeup that served this purpose today. And we're just seeing a different presence to him. There's a confidence there that is important, and him getting off to a good start helps with that.
With the Cardinals leading 2-0, Palante comes out for the 6th inning and allows 2 base runners without recording an out. Gordon Graceffo, who's called up before the game, makes his season debut, finishing the inning without giving up a run.
We've seen what he's capable of doing, and there's some real stuff coming out of that arm, and we trust it. Being able to come into that spot whenever Swanson's down, we need someone to be able to bridge us to those 3 dudes at the end. He had an opportunity to do that. We'll give that opportunity to a couple guys, but he's one that should be able to come in there and get the job done.
Ryan Stanek, JoJo Romero, and Riley O'Brien each pitch a scoreless inning to preserve the victory. At Busch Stadium, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Matthew Liberatore scheduled to make the start today at 12:15, weather permitting. Freddie Peralta starts for the Mets at Busch Stadium. Shohei Ohtani opened his season on the mound with 6 scoreless innings and a win for the Dodgers. The two-way superstar allowed 1 hit, struck out 6, and walked 3 in a rainy 4-1 victory over the Cleveland Guardians. At the plate, Ohtani went 1 for 3 with 2 walks to extend his on-base streak to 36 games, tying the longest of his career. The Dodgers have waited for Ohtani to pitch a full season after elbow surgery kept him off the mound in 24, and he had limited outings last year. He says he feels looser than last season, even with flaws to fix. His regular season scoreless streak has reached a career best 22 2/3 innings. Tiger Woods says he'll step away and seek treatment after his SUV crash in Florida. Woods made his comments yesterday, 4 days after the crash that led to his arrest on suspicion of driving under the influence. Woods pleaded not guilty. The plea came hours after a sheriff's report said he had pain pills in his pocket and showed signs of impairment at the crash scene last week. This is the second time Woods has taken a leave following a car crash. Next week is the Masters in Augusta, Georgia. The World Cup has its 48-team field finalized after a qualifying process that took 2.5 years. Iraq defeated Bolivia 2-1 to secure the 48th spot last night. Congo took the next to last place after a 1-0 extra time win over Jamaica at Guadalajara. And shockingly, Italy is out for the 3rd straight World Cup. They lost to Bosnia and Herzegovina 1-0 on penalty kicks. And with that, there are celebrations in St. Louis, I would imagine, in our Bosnian community and in our Italian community. A lot of people wondering what has happened to the 4-time champion, Italy. The Blues play tonight. They are at Los Angeles. It's an 8:00 start for them. The Blues are 4 points out of a playoff spot in the Western Conference. St. Louis composting 9 locations around the area, stlcompost.com to find one near you. stlcompost.com. What is St. Louis composting? Well, it's compost, it's soil, it's mulch, it's a variety of mulches that you can choose from at stlcompost.com. We chose the color-enhanced dark walnut mulch for the second straight year. And what a great thing it is around our entire yard. Refresh your landscape with a fresh layer of mulch in your flower beds and around your trees. It's the fastest way to make your yard pop with a beautiful, well-kept look. Now is the perfect time for that full landscape cleanup. You can add compost to your garden beds to prep for planting season. If you're not sure how much you need, use the material calculator at stlcompost.com. You can figure out exactly how much soil or mulch your project requires, and you can pick up at one of the 9 retail locations or have it delivered. That's what we did. stlcompost.com. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circusports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get ready to laugh out loud, St. Louis. The outrageous Broadway hit Spam-A-Lot is riding into the fabulous Fox Theater May 5th through the 17th. From the twisted minds of Monty Python, this Tony Award-winning musical brings you killer rabbits, dancing knights, and non-stop hilarity. It's the legend of King Arthur like you've never seen it before. More information can be found at kmox.com/events.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
6:50 on a windy morning. That will soon be a stormy morning. More on that in just a moment. Let's get you updated on your ride in from Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's more slower going out there, Debbie, right now, and we've got a crash up in North County now as well. As traffic reports the service of Artistic Decks. This one is eastbound 270 at 170. A car slid off into the median grass area there. They're blocking in the left lane, but since it's eastbound 270, there are no delays at the Interbelt right now. Eastbound 370, a little slow. 94 through the Discovery Bridge in the work zone. Eastbound Highway 70 from A through Bryan Road, around T.R. Hughes, around Cave Springs and Earth City. Those are all slowdowns. Southbound 61, Highway P, slow on to 64 through Prospect, midway into Lake St. Louis Boulevard. A crash. I think it was the one that was reported earlier, is on the right shoulder there right now. Northbound 270, north of Big Bend to Manchester, slow. Northbound 55. Just a little bit busy between Bales and Weber, not bad. And westbound 64 on the Illinois side, just a little slow through 159. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Ready to hit a home run with your backyard? Call Artistic Decks. We're celebrating 25 years of A-plus service with massive rollback pricing. Get a professional custom-built deck for less. Hit it out of the park with Artistic Decks. Call 314-280-0821 today.
Well, the temperature is falling in the St. Louis area. Not any rain that we can see in the city or immediate St. Louis County area, but it's starting to move into North County a little bit. Florissant and Ferguson seeing some rain. St. Charles, it's been raining there for a while, and certainly heavy stuff off to the north of us. AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg expecting rain and a couple of thunderstorms could interrupt our 12:15 game today, Cardinals and Mets. Ponding on streets and highways today and a high of 69 degrees. Shower and thunderstorm around early tonight, otherwise cloudy, breezy, and warm. Temperatures rise through the 60s. Tomorrow, cloudy, windy, and warmer with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon, and a high of 79 degrees. We have 58 downtown now.
The news continues at 6:53. The Missouri Attorney General shining new light on a substance showing up in gas stations and smoke shops across the state. Attorney General Catherine Hanaway's office is targeting 7-OH, a concentrated extract of the kratom plant, which federal health officials say is more potent than morphine. The CDC recently reported hospitalizations tied to kratom exposure jumped 12-fold over the last decade.
The evidence is overwhelming that 7-OH is re-addicting people who are trying to recover from opioid addictions, addicting for the first time people who think it's some safe, natural product, and killing people. We got to put a stop to it.
Hanaway says she's urging anyone who knows someone considering taking 7-OH or even kratom itself to steer them clear of both.
Nearly $72 million from a national opioid settlement is now in Missouri's hands.
Several drug makers are required to pay all 50 states as part of a lawsuit on opioid distribution and manufacturing. Lori Strong-Gakey with the Missouri Department of Mental Health says the money will be split between the state and local governments.
There have been tens of thousands of Missourians who have either lost their lives or become addicted through the use of opioids.
The settlement money is being used to help pay for prevention and treatment programs. Strong-Gakey tells MissouriNet the state will continue to receive opioid settlement payments through at least the year 2038. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
Drug offenders in Missouri could soon be able to fully receive SNAP benefits. Currently, under federal law, convicted drug offenders are banned from SNAP benefits. A proposed state house bill would opt out of the federal ban and would allow all Missouri drug offenders to apply for SNAP benefits after incarceration.
And Christine Woody is the food security policy manager for Empower Missouri, who says SNAP benefits can help keep previously incarcerated people out of prison.
Someone who is returning to society after being incarcerated, if they have a lot of social supports, the recidivism rate drastically decreases.
More than 30 other states have opted out of the ban. Similar legislation passed in the state house last year.
Today is April Fool's Day, and St. Louis and Kansas City have been named two of America's biggest prankster cities. According to Dual Bits, a crypto casino and sportsbook, St. Louisans rank 5th for likelihood of pranking friends and family today. Kansas City ranks 11th.
Oh, how do they research that?
Right here.
That conclusion comes from analyzing Google searches. St. Louis area residents generated almost 74,000 prank-related searches per 100,000 people in the last 12 months, almost 3 times the national average.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
The birthday shout out is sponsored for you by Renner Garage Door. It's RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Happy birthday wishes going out to Dave Munganas Jr. Happy 60th, Brian Jenkins of Shrewsbury from Aunt Carol and the family. Connie Purcell, Jackie Wiegers, Whitney Wisnaski, Bertworf. Also, happy 75th birthday to Nancy Miller from her husband David. And happy birthday to my buddy Mickey Lyons.
This is the best birthday ever.
I'm Scott Jagow. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
The Missouri Athletic Club, they were opened in 1903, and they are celebrating every year how far back they go, the tradition here in St. Louis, and about to open the MAC Clayton, which is going to be awesome. Yesterday, the weather was so nice that I was ready to go grab something to eat, and I went for a walk. I thought, where could I go downtown to get a little bite to eat? Started walking down Market Street, walked through City Garden, made a left on 7th, wanted to see some of the new things they did there, started headed towards the Dome. I said, I know where I'm going. I'm going over to the MAC. I'm going to go up there and grab some breakfast. Man, it was good. So good that I stuck around for a little while, did a little work over there, and then walked back to my office here at KMOX. It's only 8 blocks away. Nice little downtown walk on a Tuesday morning. The Missouri Athletic Club located downtown. Many people who work downtown have that luxury. They can just head over to the club. Now, you don't have to be a member of the club to use the downtown location for meetings. You can set up a meeting space. You could have a party there. Many people throw weddings at the MAC. Downtown St. Louis, having an 11-story building with all of that activity is great for downtown. MAC-STL.org to learn more about the Missouri Athletic Club in all of our locations. Downtown, MAC West, in Town and Country, and the MAC Clayton, the Missouri Athletic Club.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
No one likes having to choose. That's why with America's best lineup of hybrids from Hyundai, you get the best of both worlds. Like the reliable and efficient Tucson Hybrid with America's best warranty. Or the stylish yet capable Santa Fe Hybrid with power to navigate the toughest terrain. It's like having your cake and eating it too. You know, if you could drive a cake. Hybrids from Hyundai. It's the best of both worlds. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
At EasyCater, we believe every workday gets better with great food. Like that morning status meeting. Always better with bagels. And don't forget the coffee. Ops team working late? How about some power bowls to keep them going strong? Sandy's celebrating 10 years at the company. This calls for cupcakes. With EasyCater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with EasyCater. Start an order at easycater.com.
Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got this crash on the right shoulder, Debbie, on eastbound Highway 64 east of Prospect. Traffic is jamming now. Southbound on 61 north of Wentzville Parkway up to that point. After that, you're good to go. Eastbound Highway 70 A in through Bryan Road, east of K through TR Hughes is slow. 5th Street in through our city is kind of busy. And they're still working that crash in the left lane eastbound 270 at 170. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A prediction and an explanation ahead from President Trump.
We'll be leaving very soon.
He'll address the nation tonight on the Iran war. Correspondent Weijia Jiang is at the White House.
President Trump said the U.S. continues to negotiate with Iran, but will soon be done with the war. Trump said it's possible Iran will make a deal in the coming weeks, but added that is not necessary for the U.S. to end the war.
They're losing. They admit they're losing. They're begging to make a deal.
The president says countries that rely on getting oil shipments through the Strait of Hormuz will have to fend for themselves. Mr. Trump plans to be there in person when the Supreme Court takes up his bid to end birthright citizenship this morning. Correspondent Jan Crawford says administration lawyers will do the talking.
They're going to argue that the 14th Amendment was adopted to grant citizenship to former slaves and their descendants, and not to the children of undocumented immigrants who entered this country illegally.
The president is expected to sit in the public section of the court facing the justices, including the 3 he nominated during his first term. It's launch day, and NASA's just given the go-ahead for Artemis 2 to fuel up ahead of blastoff tonight for the first U.S. mission to the moon in almost 54 years. CBS's Mark Strassman with NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman.
Priority 1, bring them home safely.
Yes, sir. I would say the most important part of the mission is when they're under parachutes and splashing down safely.
The 4-person crew will loop around the far side of the moon, going farther from Earth than any astronaut has before. Defense Secretary Hegseth says all is forgiven, suspension lifted for the Army helicopter pilots who buzzed Kid Rock's house.
Kid Rock's videos of the Apache helicopters hovering near his Nashville home while he saluted them from his pool's patio drew a lot of criticism. The Army had launched an investigation. President Trump was asked about it.
Well, they probably shouldn't have been doing it. Yes, you're not supposed to be playing games, right? But I'd take a look at it. They like Kid Rock. I like Kid Rock. Maybe they were trying to defend him. I don't know.
Hegseth wrote on X, suspension lifted, no punishment, no investigation, carry on Patriots. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Like to slather on antibacterial soap? Here's CBS's Michael George.
A study from an international team led by the Green Science Policy Institute found the common household products provide no added health benefit and instead are leading to antibiotic-resistant infections that kill 1 million people each year.
U.S. gas prices up to an average $4.06 a gallon today. This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents. So when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
It is 7:04. It is cloudy and windy and 60 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. In the news this morning, we will have a forecast for you in just a few minutes on this weather that is moving in. A shooting on the north side marks St. Louis's 18th homicide of the year. A 55-year-old woman has been pronounced dead after a shooting that took place around 9 o'clock last night. Our partners at Fox 2 reported happened in the Sherman Park neighborhood. The suspect is in custody, but police have not released the suspect or victim's name.
At this time last year, the region experienced 19 homicides. That number substantially lower than the number from March of 2024. It was 28.
One teen is dead and another is in critical condition following a double shooting at a school track meet in Ferguson. The shooting took place around 7 last night in the parking lot of STEAM Academy at McClure, South Berkeley. The 14-year-old victim has been pronounced dead, while the other teen, whose age has not been released, is in critical condition. The suspect is a 13-year-old and is in juvenile custody.
Ferguson police say all three were involved were males, none students at the academy.
I am heartbroken. I don't want to see any child get hurt. Not at all. And it's just hard. It breaks my heart.
That is Ferguson Mayor Ella Jones telling Fox 2 she'll visit the academy today to reassure students they are safe.
The St. Louis County prosecutor has filed charges against 2 women involved in this week's missing child hoax.
31-year-old Kayla Williams and 29-year-old Ashley Collins are charged with making a false police report and misuse of 911. The two are accused of calling police Monday to report a stolen car with a 5-year-old girl inside, triggering an Amber Alert you may have received on your phone. The report mobilized officers from multiple departments with tactical units and air support before investigators determined the missing child was completely fabricated. Prosecuting attorney Melissa Price-Smith says every minute a police officer spends chasing a ghost is a minute they are unavailable for a real victim of violence. Her office says the hoax resulted in significant taxpayer expense. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
That's not something that we as a city can swallow, and that we can continue to operate the rest of our city departments anywhere near the excellent the services that we've been providing.
That's St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer saying the city is ready to pay their part of the state mandated budget for the police department. But beyond that, she says it's unrealistic.
About $70 million beyond what the police department received as a budgetary allocation last year.
KMOX also asked the mayor about that $37 million verdict against 2 St. Louis police officers who shot a 14-year-old in the back. She says that's a considerable judgment, but made no other comment. One of those officers, Ryan Murphy, is still with the department. Thomas Streckfuss resigned in 2020.
There's a new candidate in the race for St. Louis County Executive to replace Sam Page. State Senator Angela Walton Mosley's candidate filing came on the final day to enter the race. That means there will be a 3-way Democratic primary.
Mosley was first elected to the state Senate in 2021, representing a North County district. She'll compete with County Assessor Jake Zimmerman and fellow State Senator Brian Williams in the Democratic primary in August. The only Republican running is County Councilman Dennis Hancock.
From the KMOX business desk, 2 local chefs and 3 area restaurants are James Beard finalists, announced Tuesday by the 2026 James Beard Foundation Awards. The best chefs in the Midwest category are Lauren Nalick of Balkan Treat Box in Webster Groves and Nick Bogner of Sado, Indo, and Pavilion. National finalists include Louis in Demond for Best Hospitality, Vicia for Best Restaurant, and Robin in Maplewood for Best New Restaurant. Winners will be announced in June in Chicago.
We do have a lot of rain on the way over a number of days. We'll get the latest on that and your ride-in coming up next at 7:08.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more. So you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Do you ever feel like people are mumbling more than they used to? Or maybe conversations at restaurants and family gatherings have gotten harder to follow. If this sounds familiar, it might be time to learn more about your hearing. That's why we're inviting you to a special lunch and learn at the Audiology Center. This event is on April 29th for various time slots. It's a relaxed and friendly gathering where our certified audiologists will talk about hearing and hearing loss, answer your questions, and share how today's hearing aids can help you connect with the moments that matter most. Hearing loss often happens slowly, and many people don't realize how much they're missing. It's important to know how untreated hearing loss can negatively affect you in the long term. It's a no-pressure event, just good conversation and good information, and lunch is on us. Seats are limited, so please call 636-441-7470 to reserve your spot for our free lunch and learn at the Audiology Center on April 29th. Take the first step towards hearing more clearly.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's check in with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, we're not looking bad right now with just a one exception, and that's that crash out to the west of us on eastbound 64 just past Prospect. It's on the right shoulder, sort of right at the end of the ramp-on lane from Prospect, but everybody's taking their time going by, which is fine, but it's backing up traffic. Your stop and go on back onto southbound 61, and that delays begin. Stop and go south of Highway P, like I said, down on 64 through Prospect. Eastbound 70, the right lanes are heavy coming from Highway Z to 64 because of all that volume and backup. Eastbound Highway 70 approaching Lake St. Louis to Bryan Road's a little busy right at TR Hughes and just a little slow at Earth City. I'm still not seeing any delays. 141 Maryland Heights Expressway north of 364. We had multiple signals out due to our crash yesterday. 370's cleared out at the Discovery. They cleared the crash. Eastbound 270 at the Interbelt. Northbound 270 is just a little slow between Big Bend and Doherty Ferry. Northbound 55 right now, just a little busy right around 141. Westbound 64 looks great. Eastbound 70 is just a little heavy at 64 on the Illinois side. Next update at 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Cloudy today, not as warm as yesterday. We'll have periods of rain and a couple of thunderstorms. There can be ponding on streets and highways throughout the day. The high 69. A shower and thunderstorm early tonight. Cloudy, breezy, and warm overnight. Our low 63. Early, the temperature will be rising through the 60s late tonight. Windy and warmer tomorrow with plenty of clouds, along with a couple of showers and a heavier thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon and evening. Those thunderstorms can produce hail and damaging winds. The high tomorrow 79. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, it's just windy in downtown St. Louis, but the temperature is dropping. We started at 65 degrees 2 hours ago. It's 58 out there right now.
It's 7:12, sports in 3 minutes. St. Louis police have arrested the man accused of shooting at an officer Monday night. 45-year-old Demetrius Ingram was taken into custody after being found hiding in a garage on Lawn Avenue near Filer Avenue, not far from the Quick Trip and Home Depot in that area. A firearm was recovered at the scene. The manhunt involved officers from across the department, including K-9, Air Support, and the U.S. Marshals.
Possible bone fragments have been discovered in a missing Berkeley teen case. Berkeley police discovered those bone fragments, the possible fragments, Tuesday while excavating a backyard on Jefferson Avenue. Police started digging after receiving a tip about the possible remains of 16-year-old Shamika Cozy, who disappeared in 2008. Cadaver dogs led officers to a specific part of the yard where they found 2 to 3 small bone fragments. Officials say the fragments will be examined to determine if they're human. They also say the owner of the home is not connected to the case.
That is the sound of a data center, not the sound of traffic. A data center in Wisconsin. Just one of many growing concerns people have about them. Yesterday, Mayor Kara Spencer delayed a vote by the Public Service Board on the one proposed for the building next to the Armory in the former Famous Bar warehouse.
Mayor Spencer says, given the sensitivity and understanding that the outcome will be setting a precedent, she wanted to give it a little more due diligence. So far, though, there has not been much public comment.
I would agree that having some public weigh-in is appropriate. This is a big deal.
Spencer says people's concerns about pollution, electric, and water rates are warranted, but adds water users are dropping in the city.
Being an enterprise fund where it doesn't have a set of investors that benefit from the utility company, all the money stays within that, and we're running in the red, it would benefit us.
Maria Kina, KMOX News.
In the chess world, there's been a settlement between St. Louis-based U.S. Chess Federation and Jennifer Shahade, a 2-time U.S. women's champion. Shahade accused SLU coach and St. Louis Chess Club employee Alejandro Ramirez of sexually assaulting her twice. Other women, including underage students, then came forward with similar stories. A confidential investigation was conducted and Ramirez was banned from the chess club, but Shahade says there was a smear campaign against her in retaliation for bringing this to light.
According to the Post-Dispatch, attorneys for the U.S. Chess Federation say the two parties have settled amicably, and Shahade has been named the Federation's first ever official ambassador. She's already known as a mentor to girls and women in chess, and this has sparked discussions about gender parity and mistreatment of women and girls in chess. It's also led to criticism of U.S. Chess and the St. Louis Chess Club for ignoring gender discrimination and sexual misconduct.
It's 7:15.
Well, long before St. Louis City SC existed, this region was already shaping American soccer history, and club leaders say this summer is a chance to honor that legacy. Here's City President Diego Giuliani making the case for why St. Louis stands apart.
St. Louis isn't just another soccer city. It is America's original soccer capital. I'm sure you've all heard the story of the 5 St. Louis-born players that started in that legendary USA team that beat England in the 1950 World Cup. But did you know that of all the players that ever represented the U.S. men's national team, nearly 10% of them have come from St. Louis, in a city whose population is less than 1% of the country.
The club's Summer of Soccer initiative is designed to build on that heritage. There are watch parties at Energizer Park and throughout the area. There's a youth soccer tournament as well. All of the information at St. Louis City SC's website. The 48-team field for the World Cup is complete. Iraq defeated Bolivia 2-1 to get that last spot. Congo took the next to last spot after a 1-0 extra time win over Jamaica at Guadalajara. There were 6 World Cup places on the line on the last day, 4 in Europe, 2 in intercontinental playoffs in Mexico. Bosnia and Herzegovina advanced after upsetting Italy on penalties. And with that, Italy is out for the 3rd straight World Cup. Yes, the 4-time champion Italy has failed to qualify for a 3rd straight World Cup. As for the Cardinals, the cut of the game is sponsored by the Diamond Shop. TheDiamondShop.net. Last night, Cards and Mets, Busch Stadium, and we take you to the 3rd inning.
1 strike pitch. Here it comes. That ball's hit hard down the left field line. That's going to get down, and it's going to be off the wall. Both runs score into second base with a stand-up double is Ivan Herrera. 2-0. Cardinals in the 3rd.
The call from Ricky Horton on KMOX. Cardinals won it 3-0 over the Mets. 5 scoreless innings from Andre Palante, and the bullpen followed him with 4 scoreless. But Matt Pauley, it was Herrera's hit that got a lot of attention.
Ivan Herrera has a profound impact on the Cardinals' 3-0 shutout of the Mets. Arguably the Cardinals' top hitter. He starts the season slow, coming into the game hitting just 118, but he gets the Cardinals on the board with a 2-run double in the 3rd. Manager Oliver Marmol is happy with the approach at the plate.
Some of the swings he took today were really good.
I like where he's at. He's got his heart on himself when it's not going well, but just the way he's talking about his swing and kind of how he's feeling and what we saw today was definitely a positive.
Working as the catcher, he navigates starter Andre Palante and 4 relievers through a shutout of a very good Mets lineup.
Just his ability to navigate this lineup, it's a tough one, and what he did with Andre was really good. Him being able to catch all 9 and just stay in there because of what he was doing behind the plate was important and a confidence builder for him as well. Overall, I loved what he did offensively and what he was able to do behind the plate.
Herrera also has the first 2 batter ABS challenges in Cardinals history with a pair of overturns in the 5th inning before he draws a walk. At Busch Stadium, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Blues and Kings tonight in Los Angeles. 8 o'clock face-off. The Blues remain 4 points out of a playoff spot. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Game day comfort steps up to the plate Saturday, April 11th, when the Cardinals face the Boston Red Sox downtown. That night, fans can score a Cardinals dugout hoodie presented by Mercy, built for cool nights, late innings, and early season baseball. It's a classic, easy-to-wear layer you'll reach for all year long. Available in medium or extra large while supplies last. Don't miss this spring matchup. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Every Sunday home game is a Kids Sunday at Busch Stadium. From Team Fredbird and games to a kid-friendly DJ, ice cream, and family favorite activities. Sundays are built for young fans. Plus, select Sundays feature kids run the bases after the game. It's a day made for smiles, memories, and Cardinals baseball together. Make Sundays your family tradition at Busch Stadium. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/kidssunday.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
7:20 and time for us to check traffic and weather for you. Let's start with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, we still have this crash on the shoulder, partially in the right lane, I guess. It's eastbound 64 to East of Prospect. I think this is the one that was reported earlier this morning. I just couldn't see it in the dark, but once police showed up, you can see it better, and everybody else can see it too, because southbound 61 is a solid jam back up Highway P because of it, and eastbound 70 starting to bog down in pockets coming in from Wensville Parkway. Once you get past that point, eastbound 70 is still slow. Both sides of Lake St. Louis Boulevard, T.R. Hughes into 79, east of 94 into Earth City. There's a couple of slow spots. Eastbound 370, west of 94, up to almost 141 is kind of slow in that construction zone. More volume on northbound 270, 55 up through to about the Sappington or overpass. Big Bend all the way up to Ladue. South 270, Olive to Ladue is heavy. Eastbound 364 is a little slow. Bennington to 270, northbound 55. You have heavy traffic approaching 141 to the Merrimack River. The right lanes from Mattis. Just a brief delay, Bayless to Weber, and westbound 64 on the Illinois side starting to slow again through 159. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather forecast from AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg. We're looking at periods of rain today and a couple of thunderstorms. Watch for ponding on streets and highways. A high of 69 degrees. Tonight, a shower around early, a thunderstorm possibly as well. Otherwise, cloudy, breezy, and warm. Temperatures will rise through the 60s late. Tomorrow, cloudy, windy, and warmer with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon. Thunderstorms can produce hail and damaging winds tomorrow, a high of 79. As for today's ball game at 12:15, we could see some rain during that window, says AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg. But for right now, most of that rain is falling lightly, and to the north of us, North County is getting the bulk of that rain, Granite City as well. Some heavier rain is moving in for later this morning. It's 60 degrees.
And the news continues at 7:23. If you happen to have the unfortunate driving experience of hitting a pothole, St. Louis City now has a way for you to track the progress of repairs at City Stat. It's a new portal that keeps track of progress on all requests for service. James Jackson, City Streets Director, says more than 700 potholes have been repaired so far.
Currently, we have over about 252 pothole requests in our system.
If you drive in this city, there, and you might be saying there seems to be more than 200 potholes out there. The streets department may not be aware of them, though, so you can report them to the Citizens Service Bureau.
I'm Michael Calhoun. 700 potholes repaired in the city of St. Louis. New Orleans wants to repair 1,500 a week.
So that's what, 6,000 a month?
New Orleans Mayor Helena Moreno came into office promising her deputy infrastructure chief would scale up the pace of repairs. Our station there, WWL, reports that she's hiring 50 new public works employees and signing an executive order to get there faster.
We have to work with urgency to fix these long-standing problems in the city.
In New York City, they deployed more than 80 crews in a single-day blitz last weekend, averaging a 2-day response time.
A substance showing up on shelves at gas stations and smoke shops across Missouri acts like an opioid, but it isn't regulated like one. Attorney General Catherine Hanaway says that's because the law simply hasn't caught up yet.
It's a new enough drug that the FDA and our state regulatory schemes just haven't come up with it. As you know, the General Assembly is debating bills this year to make it illegal. And, you know, it's a constant battle. Like, the chemistry has gotten better.
Hanaway filed suit this week against CBD American Shaman, one of the state's largest kratom distributors. She says she personally supports an outright ban on 7-OH, an issue the legislature is taking up this session.
Nearly $72 million have been directed to Missouri from a national opioid settlement.
It's the fifth payment the state has received since April of 2021 from several drug manufacturers over opioid distribution and manufacturing. Lori Strong-Gakey with the Missouri Department of Mental Health says the state is actually participating in 12 national opioid settlements.
In all, Missouri is expected to receive over $500 million. And that's over the course of about 20 years.
Strong-Gakey tells MissouriNet roughly 60% of the payments will go to the Missouri Department of Mental Health and 40% to local governments to help pay for opioid prevention and treatment programs. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
Drug offenders in Missouri could soon be able to fully receive SNAP benefits. Maggie LeBeau has more on how those additional benefits could be funded.
Federal law currently bans drug offenders from receiving SNAP benefits after incarceration. A House bill would completely remove the ban in Missouri, allowing those convicted of a federal or state drug offense to receive SNAP benefits upon release. In 2025, there were 1,297 convicted drug offenders in Missouri that were members of a household receiving SNAP benefits who were unable to apply for SNAP themselves. Republican bill sponsor Chad Perkins said the legislation could reduce the amount of returning offenders to prison, which would reduce Missouri spending in the long run as incarceration costs would decrease.
If you're creating an environment where folks can be successful, then they're not re-entering the prison system, ultimately saving money.
The additional SNAP costs would be funded both by Missouri and the federal government.
The name on the St. Louis University arena is now also on an NBA ownership group. Richard Chaffetz of St. Louis has joined the Tom Dundon-led group that closed its $4.25 billion purchase of the Portland Trail Blazers on Monday. Chaffetz will sit on the franchise's board of directors and lead its executive hiring committee. As for any dreams of the Blazers coming to St. Louis, Oregon just approved $365 million in arena renovations to keep the team in Portland.
Yeah, the Lewis and Clark expedition started here. That's about as far as you'll get with the Trailblazers.
Yeah. Well, maybe someday.
Yep. It's 7:27. Time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
CrawfordButts.com.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at CrawfordButts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's CrawfordButts.com.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Dave Glover. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free and 24 months with no payments or interest plus $500 off. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Spring cleaning is upon us, but there's one meaningful box that you don't throw away when cleaning out your closet. It's the box filled with your family's important videotapes, film reels, and photos. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box over a decade ago to help families organize and update their analog media to digital.
Legacy Box is simple and easy. It works and is safe. Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box.
And Legacy Box has been featured in Good Housekeeping, The Today Show, and Rachel Ray.
Legacy Box is like magic, converting your shoebox of memories to the cloud or thumb drive, ready to watch and share.
Declutter your closet by digitizing your media. Become more organized and accomplished, knowing your family's recorded past is safe forever. Take advantage of our spring cleaning sale going on now. It's the easiest task to check off your to-do list.
For a limited time, you can get started for just $9 a tape. Visit legacybox.com/radio to get our $9 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to get our $9 offer. Legacybox.com/radio.
If you need a garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are open now for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of your choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/18 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
At 7:30, we have 58 degrees, some light rain falling in parts of the area, cloudy downtown right now. I'm Tom Ackerman.
I'm Debbie Monterrey, and this is Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, it still looks pretty damp out to the west of us. If you're traveling in on eastbound 64, still seeing rain coming down. It's not downpour, but it's definitely damp, and it's still, I have this trouble spot with the crash on the right shoulder, eastbound 64 just east of Prospect. Traffic's backing up onto 61. Southbound 61 starts to slow down midway between W and P, and it's stop and go south of P onto 64, like I said, through this crash, past this crash through Prospect there. Eastbound 70 has delays from Wenswell Parkway into 64. It's bogged down again west of Lake St. Louis to Bryan Road, K into 79, Cave Springs through Zumbel, 94 into Earth City. Eastbound 370, midway between Elm Newtown and 94, delays across the Discovery Bridge due to road work there. If you're on eastbound 64, once you get past Prospect, there's a little slowdown through Boone's Crossing. Clarkson and Timberlake is the heaviest spot. And then once again at the Interbelt, westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley, slow. South 270 approaching Olive down to Ladou's busy. North 270, we have an incident at Tesson Ferry with lane blockage, so it's jammed back onto the 55 ramp. Once you get past that point, Big Bend up to Ladue is slow. 55 a little heavy at 141. And, of course, Bayless up to River to Pear. Westbound 64 west of 50 to 159 is heavy. Next update is 740 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, Roger, we're about an hour away from the heavy stuff getting us downtown here in St. Louis as we're looking at a 12:15 ball game this afternoon. We'll have to wait that out to see if we can get a window to play and start that on time or a delay, because it is coming down in buckets right now in Columbia, Jefferson City, Mexico, Missouri, all parts west of the St. Louis listening area right now. And as for the rest of the day, ponding on streets and highways could very well be an issue. Rain and thunderstorms today, high 69. Tonight, a shower and thunderstorm around early, breezy and warm otherwise. Temperatures rising through the 60s, and then another round of showers and a heavy thunderstorm, especially tomorrow afternoon, with a high of 79 degrees. Currently, we are cloudy and 57 downtown at the Arch.
Charges have been filed after Monday's fake Amber Alert.
29-year-old Ashley Collins and 31-year-old Kayla Williams, both of Afton, are charged with making a false police report after investigators say they totally made up a story about a 5-year-old being snatched along with a stolen Jeep. Collins faces an additional charge of misusing 911. The hoax sent police on a 5-hour search. Canine units, a helicopter, and drones before investigators determined the child never even existed. County prosecuting attorney Melissa Price-Smith says every minute officers spend chasing a fake emergency is a minute they are unavailable for a real victim. Both women remain in jail on $10,000 cash-only bonds. Each faces up to 6 months behind bars if convicted. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
Residents made their voices heard on a bill before the St. Charles County Council directing police to work with ICE.
Charles is a nice place to live. ICE does not belong in St. Charles.
Despite that, 1,000 letters in opposition as well. The council passed the bill unanimously. County Executive Steve Ellman says officers are already working with ICE.
And this will simply allow us to do it better, to be better trained. People need to understand this is nothing new. This is 287G. It's a section of the Naturalization and Immigration Act. It's been on the books for 30 years.
He says under this bill, 10 officers will get additional training. They've already selected 4 officers, including 2 Spanish-speaking officers.
A follow-up on the $37 million verdict against 2 St. Louis police officers who shot a 14-year-old in the back. One of those officers, Ryan Murphy, is still with the department. Thomas Streckfuss resigned in 2020.
That's a considerable judgment.
Mayor Spencer says that, combined with the demands of the St. Louis Police Board of Commissioners for a massive budget increase, is a problem for the city.
What the police board has proposed to the city of St. Louis is not only far outside that state required allocation, and it is not grounded in reality.
Spencer did not go into any specifics about where that $37 million jury award to Tyrone Edwards would come from. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 7:35. Your Money Minute is next.
Hear me out on this. Let's say, for the sake of argument, you do have a wife or a significant other.
Yeah.
There's just a huge problem in your life. And then you win a giant jackpot. Mm-hmm. Don't you feel like this is your opportunity to just leave town?
You're not going to file papers because now you're going to be legally bound to this lady.
That's what you get the lawyer for.
You're not even married and you're fantasizing about leaving your wife.
The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays starting at 9 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
It is 7:36. Thanks for tuning in to Total Information AM on what is most likely going to be a pretty stormy day. So far, so good, but looks like it could rain in downtown St. Louis at any moment. We'll get the update for you on that coming up. But first, your money report, which is sponsored for you by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute.
Stock futures point to a higher open today following yesterday's rally on Wall Street. All three major indexes surged, with the S&P adding 2.9%, its best day since May. Oil prices also fell on hopes the war in Iran will end soon. Crude's now hovering around $100 a barrel. We should get U.S. retail sales numbers from the Commerce Department later today. February sales are forecast to be up about 0.6% after brutal winter weather crimped activity in January. NPR and PBS won an injunction against President Trump's executive order to end funding. A federal judge ruled the order is unconstitutional because the president can't direct federal agencies to bar grants in retaliation for saying things he didn't like. The ruling doesn't reverse funding, but it is a First Amendment win. Both operations have been forced to make drastic cuts in the last year. And it may be April Fool's, but no joke, Dunkin's giving away free coffee today. Any size, hot or iced. Monica Ricks, Bloomberg Radio.
What matters to you matters to us. That's why Busey Bank takes the time to understand your goals and build solutions that fit your story. From everyday banking to long-term planning, our team is here to help you navigate every stage with care and expertise. We're more than a bank. We're your neighbor, your advisor, and your advocate. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions, so it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-566-3062. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-566-3062. That's 800-566-3062. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My best advice to you when hiring a lawyer for your injury case is simple. If you know court personnel, ask them who they'd hire. They know. If you know an insurance adjuster, ask them. They know. And then ask them about us. Ask them about Morgan & Morgan. They know. I look forward to talking to you soon. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, for the people. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Renewal by Andersen is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Schedule your free inspection today. Call 877-WINDOWS. That's 877-WINDOWS. Or head to rbastl.com.
Working hard but still falling behind? Learn how real estate investing can help you build income and move forward with purpose. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
This afternoon,
The Cards, the Mets,
Cameron Total Access 1120. First pitch 12:15.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Let's check in with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Bill, Tom, I can see that crash now on northbound 270. I mentioned in the last report, this traffic reports the service of SNL Coins. It's in the left lane at Tesson Ferry, so it's jamming traffic back onto 55. 55 is slow, both sides of 141, and the right lane's north of Butler Hill. All lanes are backed up, of course, Union Road overpass up across River to Pear. Once you get past Tesson Ferry on North 270, you're still slow, 44 up to Ladue. South 270, a little busy, 364 to Olive, and then it's a little more solid of a slowdown down to Ladue after that. Eastbound Highway 70, coming in from Wentzville Parkway to 64, you've got delays. A all the way to 79, 370 almost all the way to Zunbell, 94 to 5th Street. Those are all busy. You're jammed eastbound 370, about midway in from Elm Newtown toward the Discovery Bridge due to road work going on there. If you're on southbound 61, first of all, they cleared the crash at Prospect, but southbound 61 slows at P, jams Wentzville Parkway through Prospect, then it's busy to the Boulevard. It's slow Chesterfield Parkway west to Timberlake and east to Lindbergh through the Innerbelt. South 170 bogs down at Olive. Westbound 64 backs up at Kings Highway. And westbound 6450 through 159, some heavy stuff on the Illinois side. Next update is 750 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
S&L Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call S&L. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. S&L Coin.
It is 7:42. We're checking in with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg. It hasn't hit downtown St. Louis yet, the rain, Joe, but people, of course, are wondering about the Cardinals game today as well.
Well, there's going to be some rain and thunder and lightning here moving in over the next 30 minutes or so, and it's going to pour for a while. I think the worst of this is gone before lunchtime, but there'll still be a shower or thunderstorm in the area into the early afternoon hours. Whether it's over the stadium or not remains to be seen. But I think as we go deeper into the afternoon, there's several hours where it doesn't do anything. So I think we can get the game in. There may be a delay at the start, but I think we can get the game in. Temperature probably only get to the mid-60s, but it doesn't drop much tonight. Those winds that are out of the northeast now turn into the southeast and south. The shower and thunderstorm threat lingers early tonight and then goes away. Temperatures start rising late tonight, and we jump into the upper 70s tomorrow. Even though it'll be cloudy, it'll be windy and warmer. Do be on the lookout for a couple of showers and a heavier thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon. And yes, there is a risk of severe weather tomorrow afternoon. Friday, a little quieter, breezy and warm with clouds and sun. A spotty shower or thunderstorm, I think, most of the daylight hours, though not much happens. The high 81. Some severe weather is possible Friday night. Front comes through Saturday morning with it. Some rain and a thunderstorm, then a leftover shower in the afternoon. But temperatures go from 67 at daybreak down into the 50s. Easter Sunday, bright and beautiful with sunshine. The high near 60. Right now, it's 50 at St. Peter's, 49 in Florissant. Cloudy, 53 downtown at the Arch with rain and thunder imminent. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
President Trump will address the nation tonight, 8 o'clock Central Time. We will have it on KMOX. We will air the address live. It focuses on an update involving the military campaign against Iran. Trump is also expected to discuss the war's impact on nations around the Persian Gulf, as well as oil and gasoline prices worldwide.
CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Zhang spoke with the president by phone and also has more with comments the president made in public.
Iranian restrictions in the strait have caused gas prices in the U.S. to spike by almost 35% since the war began.
All I have to do is leave Iran, and we'll be doing that very soon, and they'll become tumbling down.
Let's start with our parlay of the day, sponsored by Circa Sports. Sports betting the way it should be. Let me take a look at my Circa Sports app on my phone. And, you know, yesterday I talked about the Final Four. Well, did you know you don't have to wait until Saturday to bet on some championship basketball? Because the NIT semifinals are tomorrow in Indianapolis at historic Hinkle Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. I'm going with the two underdogs here. Tulsa's had a great year. They are +4 against New Mexico. I'd go there, and then I'm going +6.5 Illinois State against Auburn. Tulsa and Illinois State. That is my Circa Sports parlay of the day. The Blues play tonight. They are an 8 o'clock face-off at Los Angeles. The Blues still 4 points out of a playoff spot in the Western Conference. They had an opportunity the other night, but whiffed against San Jose. So with that loss 5-4 in the final 22 seconds, they're going to try to get themselves back into it. But they have to leapfrog a lot of teams here to catch Nashville, who's 4 points in front of them with the season winding down. Baseball today, Busch Stadium. It's the Cardinals and the Mets. As Joe Lundberg told you, they're going to try to find a window to play this, so we'll keep an eye on it. 11:20 for the pregame from me at Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village. Matthew Liberatore starts against Freddie Peralta. For the Cardinals right now, and this is our ins and outs sponsored by Innsbrook Resort, where every day is the weekend, they are looking at a player that struggled throughout spring training, starting to pick it up.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch to Walker is hit in the air to deep left center field. That's back to the wall, and it's gone! Big fly, Jordan Walker! And the Cardinals do indeed strike with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. And it's now 6-4, Tampa Bay.
That was on Sunday. Now, yesterday against the Mets, Walker was 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, but Jordan Walker has gotten the attention of manager Ollie Marmol, who spoke about him at length on the Gas House Gang yesterday.
On Jordan's end, a couple of things that we were talking about throughout the offseason and the spring, man, it was frustrating because at the beginning of the spring, it wasn't coming into play, but his work was there. Like it was like you can no longer say, man, like you wish he would work differently or hard. Like there's none of that to it. It was strictly, it wasn't coming into play during those games. And then towards the end, you started to see some at-bats that looked the way you wanted them to look. And even his misses, and I keep saying that, but like you can tell a lot from a guy in how he's missing. Is he missing the way he wants to miss, or he's just getting beat? And we started to see a little bit of that towards the end, and it's carried into the first 4 games here of the season. And I do believe in Jordan, and I think he can carry this.
Jordan Walker and the Cardinals, they take on the Mets this afternoon. Again, weather permitting, it's a 12:15 start at Busch Stadium. Innsbruck, where every day is the weekend, even on a rainy day. Innsbruck's a great place because you rent a condo or a home, or maybe you're going to buy one. You know, some people vacation there and then they end up living there permanently. Innsbruck on a rainy day is great. I mean, you could watch games on TV. You could kick back and read a book. You could relax with a nice cup of coffee this morning. I mean, just thinking about hanging out at Innsbruck makes me happy. It's vacation time at Innsbruck. It's where every day is the weekend. Now, on a nice sunny day, a dip in the lake, going fishing, going golfing, maybe a hike, maybe head into town. Yes, they have a great market and area there where you can hang out. They've got it all. They have a restaurant right there at the golf course. Innsbruck's awesome. Innsbruck-resort.com. It's just 45 minutes for most places in St. Louis. It's in Wright City, just off of I-70 here in Missouri. Innsbruck-resort.com.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circusports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Calling all runners. Register now for the Cardinals 5K on Saturday, April 18th. And you can take a victory lap on the field at Busch Stadium. Don't miss this chance to bring the whole family for a fun St. Louis 5K race that brings fans together to support kids in the community. The Cardinals 5K, Saturday, April 18th. Register now at cardinals.com/5K. And for more information, just head to kmox.com/events.
Now the news at 1 The Fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
7:50. Seems like it's getting a little darker in downtown St. Louis. We have the forecast on the way. Right now we're checking in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got our trouble on North 270, Debbie, although we do have a flatbed on the scene, so maybe it won't be too much longer. But the left lane's still closed to Tesson Ferry. Traffic's jammed back onto 55, northbound 55. A little busy, 141 to the Merrimack, and then the right lane's bogged down at Butler Hill trying to get onto North 270. If you're sticking with 55, Union Road overpass up through almost Virginia, there's just some pretty heavy traffic. North 270, north of Tesson Ferry, still slow from just north of 44 up to Ladue. South 270, 364 down to Ladue, you've got delays. Eastbound 70, Wentzville Parkway in through almost Bryan Road, K into 79, 370 through to almost Sunbelt, 94 to 5th Street. Just a lot of busy traffic. 370 midwind from Elm Newtown to the Discovery Bridge is backed up due to roadwork. Southbound 61 Highway P down onto 64 to Lake St. Louis Boulevard is busy. Boone's Crossing to almost Timberlake. Lindbergh through the Interbelt. South 170 gets slowed down approaching Olive to 64. Westbound 64 Science Center to Hanley. You've got delays. East and westbound 70 around Jennings Station. Lucas Hunt's heavy. Eastbound 44 from the Poplar out onto 70 near the McKinley Bridge, and westbound 64 is still slow west of 50 at a couple of spots through 159. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Roger, as you mentioned, it's been raining in St. Charles County for a while, and in about an hour, we're all going to get it, and it's going to get heavier. We're going to see rain throughout this morning, a high today of 69 degrees, and rain off and on throughout the day. Tonight, a shower and thunderstorm around early, otherwise cloudy, breezy, and warm, low 63. Then temperatures will rise through the 60s late. We'll be warmer tomorrow with a high of 79. We're also going to have a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon. Friday, warm, high 81 with a spotty shower thunderstorm. Severe thunderstorms Friday night. Thunderstorm possible Saturday. Easter Sunday is the nice one. Mostly sunny and a high of 60. Currently, it is cloudy, and it's 57 downtown at the Arch.
It is 7:52. U.S. security firms say there have been thousands of cyber attacks mounted by groups tied to Iran, some targeting businesses. One expert tells KMOX your company's insurance may not cover a loss.
Dustin Carlson handles a very specialized tax-deferred insurance vehicle for businesses. He says traditional cybersecurity insurance policies are excluding coverage for attacks by state actors.
Really, under most types of insurance policies, whether it's property, general liability, and cyber, acts of war are almost always excluded from those types of policies.
U.S. security firms report that since the war began last month, hackers supporting Iran have launched thousands of cyber attacks on companies and organizations in both the U.S. and Israel, seeking to undermine the war effort and critical supply chains. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
A new survey shows that more than half of employees check work email outside of regular working hours. Where they look at those emails might surprise you.
I was actually at a coworker's wedding, and I did find myself checking email, and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing?
Brian Minnick is chief operating officer for Zero Bounce, which conducted the study. Workers report that some of it's force of habit, also that some of it is out of fear of falling behind.
So our survey found from the bathrooms to flights, weddings, it doesn't matter. Everyone seems to just stay connected.
Men are more likely than women to check work email during special moments like funerals or romantic dinners. Women are more likely to check email in intimate everyday moments like when they're in bed with their partner.
A game changer for liver cancer patients. That's how a local surgical oncologist describes a new non-invasive procedure to kill liver tumors.
Mercy St. Louis is about to become the first hospital in Missouri to use a new sci-fi-like technique to destroy liver tumors without a single incision. Surgical oncologist Dr. Peter DePasco.
This is a completely non-invasive way to destroy tumors using focused sound waves. There's no incision, there's no radiation, there's no needles. We're essentially liquefying these tumors with precision, and Mercy is the first in Missouri to offer it.
Dr. DePasco says this amazing new technology called histotripsy has only been approved for killing liver tumors at this point. He hopes down the road it will kill other tumors as well. The first patient procedure at Mercy St. Louis is slated for late April. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Firefighters saved 4 dogs from a Maplewood house fire yesterday. No residents were home at the time of the rescue, but firefighters made 2 entries into the burning home. Looked like on Fox 2 they were little puppies. 2 firefighters were injured in the fire, but are expected to recover.
Well, now we have a cat story.
Oh, no.
About a cat named Sushi.
Sushi?
Who's been stuck inside a tree in Forest Park now for 2 days. Sushi's owner reports the cat has been camping out inside the hollow tree for the past 2 days, despite several rescue attempts by city officials and local animal rescue groups. Pictures show the tree is completely hollowed out, allowing the cat to crawl around and hide anywhere inside the trunk. Sushi's owner has been posting updates on Reddit, with the last update around 8 last night confirming the kitty was still stuck in the tree.
We got to get Sushi out of there. It's 7:56 on KMOX.
I feel like people are mumbling more than they used to, or maybe conversations at restaurants and family gatherings have gotten harder to follow. If this sounds familiar, it might be time to learn more about your hearing. That's why we're inviting you to a special lunch and learn at the Audiology Center. This event is on April 29th for various time slots. It's a relaxed and friendly gathering where our certified audiologists will talk about hearing and hearing loss, answer your questions, and share how today's hearing aids can help you connect with the moments that matter most. Hearing loss often happens slowly, and many people don't realize how much they're missing. It's important to know how untreated hearing loss can negatively affect you in the long term. It's a no-pressure event, just good conversation and good information, and lunch is on us. Seats are limited, so please call 636-441-7470 to reserve your spot for our free lunch and learn at the Audiology Center on April 29th. Take the first step towards hearing more clearly.
At EasyCater,
We believe every workday gets better with great food. The 9 a.m. staff meeting? How about breakfast burritos and lots of coffee? Big client presentation at noon? Let's do Mediterranean bowls. Accounting's gotta work late. Keep them pepped up with spicy noodles. With Easy Cater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with Easy Cater. Start an order at easycater.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you trying to lose weight and nothing is working? Do you keep hearing about GLP-1s, but you don't know where to start? STO weight loss injections can get you started on a real and impactful weight loss journey. For details and to schedule an appointment, head to STOweightlossinjections.com and get started for just $199.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
7:58. Let's check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, they cleared the crash, Debbie. We had North 270 at Tesson Ferry just after our last report, so lanes are open. There's still a jam, though, approaching Tesson Ferry back onto 55. The right lanes of 55 are still backed up at Butler Hill, and 55 is still on the brakes. Union Road overpass up to River to Pear. So North 270 starting to open up. There's a little slowdown that past Gravois, and then from 44 all the way up to Ladou's slow. South 270, 364 down to Ladou is heavy. Eastbound 70, still volume from Highway A, really all the way into T.R. Hughes. 94 to 5th Street, about the worst of it there. 370 midway in from Elm Newtown through to the Discovery Bridge is backed up due to road work. 364K into Mid Rivers and across the Veterans Bridge to 141 is kind of busy right now as well. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Cloudy and 57 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Tom Ackerman. The blast furnaces are hot again at Granite City Steel. Megan Lynch talks with that city's mayor about the future after the news.
The Trump administration looking for an off-ramp in the Iran war. We'll hear from a Middle East expert.
The Supreme Court considers birthright citizenship. KMOX legal analyst Brad Young will go over the arguments this morning at 8:40.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Cloudy today with rain at times and a couple of heavier thunderstorms, high 69.
And that could cause a problem for the 12:15 Cardinals game. We'll keep you updated on that. 11:20 for the pregame today. The Cardinals and the Mets at Busch Stadium. Megan Lynch is coming up next. It's 8 o'clock.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump is about to head to the Supreme Court, where he'll become the first president in modern history to attend a hearing next hour, this one on his bid to end birthright citizenship. His lawyers will argue the 14th Amendment is outdated.
It wasn't for billionaires bringing people in or family in. It was for the children of slaves.
Correspondent Jan Crawford is at the court.
President Trump, in that executive order, is really trying to redefine how we have long thought about what it means to be a citizen in this country, which, of course, is if you're born on U.S. soil, you are a U.S. citizen. And in that executive order, he said, no, we're going to say that if you're born to people who are here illegally or temporarily, then you're not a citizen.
Mr. Trump is expected to sit in the public section of the court facing the justices, 3 of whom he appointed. The president expected to make the case for exiting the Iran war in 2 to 3 weeks when he addresses the nation tonight. And he's just announced Iran's president has asked for a ceasefire. An update from CBS's Holly Williams in Tel Aviv.
The U.S. says it's hit over 11,000 targets alone in Iran. Secretary of State Marco Rubio claimed that Iran's Navy and Air Force are, quote, largely destroyed. Israel's military told us 70% of Iran's ballistic missile launches have now been neutralized and that Iran is no longer producing ballistic missiles.
NASA's begun fueling Artemis II's gas tanks for a milestone trip to the far side of the moon and back. Correspondent Peter King from Kennedy Space Center.
The 4 astronauts will be the first to fly aboard the giant Space Launch System rocket, and the Orion spacecraft. Taking them to the moon takes risks to another level. Commander Reed Weissman.
We know we have to take risk. If we weren't willing to take risk, we'd never leave the planet.
Mission specialist Christina Cook agrees.
I just can't help but think the words, "We chose to do this."
Blast off scheduled for this evening. A tugboat captain in Miami has been charged with manslaughter in a crash last year that killed 3 girls from a sailing camp. CBS's Jim Krasula.
Yuseel Insua faces up to 10 years in prison. He's accused of operating a tugboat, pushing a barge filled with debris with obstructed visibility and without required lookout personnel.
Prosecutors say he was on his cell phone when the boats collided. Thank goodness for siblings. New study in the British Medical Journal finds they can help you cope with the loss of a parent once you're a grown-up, and the more brothers and sisters you have, the less likely you'll be to turn to meds for help. Dow futures are up to 18. This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
Looks like we have a little bit of light rain. 55 degrees downtown at the Arch. It's 8:03. Today is Wednesday, April 1st. I'm Megan Lynch. Possible bone fragments have been discovered in a missing Berkeley teen case. Berkeley police discovered possible bone fragments Tuesday while excavating a backyard on Jefferson Avenue. That's according to our news partners at Fox 2. Police started digging after receiving a tip about the possible remains of 16-year-old Shamika Kosi, who disappeared in 2008. Cadaver dogs led officers to a specific part of the yard where they found 2 to 3 small bone fragments. Officials say they'll be examined to determine if they are human. They also say the owner of the home is not connected to the case. 1 teen is dead, another in critical condition following a double shooting at a school track meet in Ferguson. The shooting took place around 7 p.m. last night in the parking lot of STEAM Academy at McClure South Berkeley. The 14-year-old victim has been pronounced dead, while the other teen, whose age has not been released, is in critical condition. The suspect is 13 years old and is in juvenile custody. Ferguson police say all 3 of the children involved were males, but none of them were students at the academy.
I don't want to see any child get hurt, not at all. And it's just hard. It breaks my heart.
Ferguson Mayor Ella Jones told Fox 2 she'll visit the academy today to reassure students that they are safe. The St. Louis County prosecutor has filed charges against 2 women involved in this week's missing child hoax.
31-year-old Kayla Williams and 29-year-old Ashley Collins are charged with making a false police report and misuse of 911. The 2 are accused of calling police Monday to report a stolen car with a 5-year-old girl inside, triggering an Amber Alert that you may have received on your phone. The report mobilized officers from multiple departments with tactical units and air support before investigators determined the missing child was completely fabricated. Prosecuting attorney Melissa Price-Smith says every minute a police officer spends chasing a ghost is a minute they are unavailable for a real victim of violence. Her office says the hoax resulted in significant taxpayer expense. Beth Coughlin, KMOX News.
I'm going to talk about that case with KMOX legal analyst Brad Young coming up at 8:41 this morning here on Total Information AM.
That's not something that we as a city can swallow, and that we can continue to operate the rest of our city departments anywhere near the excellent the services that we've been providing.
That's St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer, who says the city is ready to pay its part of the state mandated budget for the police department. But beyond that, she says it's unrealistic.
It's about $70 million beyond what the police department received as a budgetary allocation last year.
KMOX also asked the mayor about that $37 million verdict against 2 St. Louis police officers. She says that's a considerable judgment, but made no other comment. One of the officers, Ryan Murphy, is still in the department. Thomas Streckfuss resigned in 2020.
I don't have a firm set of requirements I can discuss here.
That's St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer responding to why the St. Louis Public Service Board did not vote yesterday on a proposed data center next to the Armory in the old Famous Bar warehouse.
St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer says she is delaying the vote on the $3 billion data center to allow more time for review. She admits she's not looked in depth at the conditions of the permits and as to whether the public should have some say-so in this before a vote.
I think that there should be some public component to that. How that sort of rolls out, to be direct with you, we don't have that ironed out, all the sort of components about that.
Spencer did not give a timeline when the Public Service Board might vote on the data center. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
There's a new candidate in the race for St. Louis County Executive. State Senator Angela Walton Mosley's candidate filing came on the final day to enter the race. That means there will be a three-way Democratic primary. Mosley, first elected to the state Senate in 2021, representing a North County district. She'll compete with County Assessor Jake Zimmerman and fellow state Senator Brian Williams in the primary. The only Republican running, County Councilman Dennis Hancock. From the KMOX Business Desk, today is April Fool's Day, and St. Louis and Kansas City have been named two of America's biggest prankster cities. According to Dual Bits, a crypto casino and sportsbook, St. Louisans rank 5th for likelihood of pranking friends and family today. Kansas City ranks 11th. That conclusion comes from analyzing Google searches. St. Louis area residents generated almost 74,000 prank-related searches per 100,000 people in the last 12 months. That's almost 3 times the national average. Hopefully there's no fooling on the roads. We're going to check with Roger Brand coming up in 2 minutes here on Total Information AM. It's 8:08.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision. It should not be based on advertising.
Okay, I have some really good news. While we do have the 0% a lot, we do have it on our regular products because you will be unbelievably shocked, especially if you call me and I'll give you the straight up scoop on how much money you can actually save by if you spent $20,000 versus $10,000 on a system. The difference could be as little as, I don't know, let's just say, not to exaggerate, 5 cents. So be careful out there and always remember your energy savings is based on your house. It is not based on the equipment. So common sense advice and help and guidance. Again, call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. The easiest, 314-293-2600. Again, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, that is bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions, so it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me, 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM, the news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
8:10, we do have some wet roads around. Let's see if that's impacting your ride into work. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're still busy, Megan, on eastbound 370 west of 94 through the Discovery Bridge due to road work. Eastbound Highway 70 is getting better, but it's still slow. Lake St. Louis through Bryan Road, K to TR Hughes, 94 into 270, just some busy spots. Southbound 61 north of Wentzville Parkway on the 64 to 364 is heavy. Annie Guns to about Timberlake, and then Lindbergh into Big Bend. South 170, a couple of heavy spots from Olive to 64. Westbound 64 east of Hampton to Hanley slow. South 270 approaching Olive down to 64 is busy. North 270 a little busy around Tesson Ferry, Gravois, but the primary delays approaching 44 all the way up to Ladue. 44 east of Barry into Laclede Station. There's a couple little busy spots. Northbound 55, the right lanes are slow at Butler Hill. All lanes back up Union Road through Weber, but heavy all the way up through Virginia. If you're on 44 downtown eastbound, coming past 55 out onto 70 over to about Branch Street's heavy, and westbound 64 delays west of 50 most of the way down the hill to 157. It looks busy. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, cloudy today and not as warm as yesterday with periods of rain and a couple of thunderstorms. There can be ponding on streets and highways, the high 69. A shower and thunderstorm around early tonight, cloudy, breezy, and warm overnight. Low 63 early, then temperature will rise through the 60s late tonight. Tomorrow, cloudy, windy, and warmer with a couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon. Those thunderstorms can be severe with hail and damaging winds. The high tomorrow, 79. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We do have rain in many areas this morning. 50 degrees both in Florissant and St. Peter's, 55 degrees downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. U.S. Steel has restarted a blast furnace at its Granite City Works thanks to increased demand. It's been more than 2 years since molten slabs rolled through that plant. Let's talk about the immediate impact as well as the future with Granite City Mayor Mike Parkinson, who joins me now on the line. Good morning, Mayor.
Morning. How are you?
Doing well. I'm sure this is good news for your city.
Oh, it's great news for us. It's absolute the best news possible. You know, we just hope that this isn't a short-lived period in Granite City's history, and that this continues beyond the 2-year period. That we have fears that are still in place.
Yeah, let's talk about that because it's my understanding that Granite City Works is only protected from being further idled, closed, or sold until June of 2027.
Right. Yeah. So that's the fear, right? And we still have to look at the city as a work in progress and trying to bring in new business as well to protect us from that. We're very hopeful that the new ownership will see what we do here and what these men and women do at this plant and the great steel that we produce, which we believe is the best in the world. And we're very hopeful that the fruits of our labor here will dawn a new era here with this new administration and hopefully bring in a long-term contract.
I've had family that has worked at the mill and friends, and it seems like it has been up and down for decades. What does this do to a town when it's so strongly tied to a facility like this?
Well, I'll tell you, I've lived here 55 years, and I'm not a product of the plant. I never worked in the plant, but even as a young policeman here, when I was negotiating contracts with the police union, it was always, that rhetoric was always there of, well, we're not sure what the mill's going to do and what that'll do to the town. We can't commit money to this. We can't commit money to that. We can't pay you more because of, the long-term effects that may come into place if the mill were to shut down. It's just been a roller coaster ride for my entire life. And then when you look at the rest of the city, restaurants around town that have been dependent on that lunch crowd or, the orders coming in for lunch or breakfast, the gas stations, the grocery stores, all those subsidiary companies. And then when you look at the rolling mills and the finishing plants out on Route 3 and when you look at these subsidiary businesses and the railroad, how many railroad jobs would be affected? It's just been a roller coaster for my entire life living here in this city. And part of the reason I ran for mayor, right, is we've got to look to the future. We've got to look to new things. We've got to look to new revenue. And we're not desperate, but we have to consider all options and be hopeful that maybe they're not necessary, but we've got to be looking for a brighter future as well in case they do leave in 2 years.
Let's talk about that. What has been in the works in the meantime if this isn't long-term for Granite City Works?
Well, yeah, Megan, it's been in the news widely. Everybody around here is getting approached with data centers. We've been one of them. We're taking a very optimistic and cautious approach to that. We're trying to put in zoning to protect our citizens, with setbacks and pollution and water runoff and all the things that you go online and you find. We're trying to make sure we put strong ordinances in to keep them from doing those things if they do acquire land here and make a proposal. The problem everywhere is if they buy property that's zoned correctly, it's hard to stop that because it is zoned that way already. So we're taking our time. We're making sure that if an offer does come to Granite City's way, that we are looking at it not with rose-colored glasses, but with sunglasses on it, saying, this is very bright and shiny for us, but let's not let's not stake everybody's future on it, but let's go into it optimistically, and let's make sure that we have zoning that protects everybody from all the fears that everybody around the area has. And I think that's some of the mistakes that other communities have made, right? To rush into something. And we're just not doing that. We've taken our time. We're looking at this objectively. We're putting zoning in case they do want to come here, that will protect our citizens. And it's, it's not an easy decision, and it won't be if one does make an offer to us. But we looked at that. We've had other options on ammunition plants. We've looked at, a few years back, we had an ethanol plant that we looked at. But times are tough right now. There's not a whole lot of manufacturing companies expanding, but we put our city out there on the global map. We put it out there with the state, with St. Louis Business Inc. And we've worked closely with a lot of people to try to bring new business here. And the one thing that we're seeing is we're starting. My phone's starting to ring pretty regularly. Where in my first few years in office, 6 years ago, or 5 years ago, it really didn't.
What is the jobs picture right now in Granite City, especially with some retraining that, some of the former steel workers have been doing?
Yeah, about 600 people are back to work at the mill. That's a great thing. If we bring in new industry, you would look at more job training there. We've got a great programs at Southwestern Illinois College here in Granite. I toured that recently, and what a fantastic thing for young kids coming out of high school. If they're not familiar with it, they really need to take a look. It's not the same old junior college that it once was when it was, Belleville Area College, and no knock on that, but they were the roots that started something. And SWIC right now is fantastic. If you want to get into computers or cybercrime, or you want to get into nursing, or you want to get into airplane and aeronautics, they have some incredible programs over there for kids. So, I think that our youth are in a good place here. They can get a good education, and then these jobs are out there. You look at, Boeing moving back to St. Louis, their headquarters, and I think there's just going to be fantastic opportunities on the rise here in St. Louis. If we can keep building.
Mayor, thanks so much for spending time with us this morning here on KMOX.
Megan, it's always nice to spend time with somebody other than Chris Ranji.
I love it. I'm going to pull that for a promo.
That's those Granite City roots, right?
Right.
Hey, thank you both for keeping an eye on Granite and everything that's going on over here. And you guys have been great vocal supporters for Granite. We greatly appreciate it over here.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate your time.
Have a great day.
You too. That is Granite City Mayor Mike Parkinson with a great dig on Chris Ranji this morning. That made my day. Well, coming up on Total Information AM, the Trump administration looking for an off-ramp in the Iran war. We'll get insight from a Middle East expert. The Supreme Court considers birthright citizenship. KMOX legal analyst Brad Young is going to go over the arguments this morning at 8:40. Plus, there's a new surgical treatment for liver cancer that doesn't involve a scalpel. KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer will tell us more about that next. Let's see how things are moving on the roads this morning. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, the busiest run right now looks like it's Highway 64, Megan. This traffic reports a service of financial and tax strategies. In fact, it begins on southbound 61 midway between P and Wentzville Parkway, runs on 64 to 364. It's slow. Coming up out of the valley to Clarkson, it's slow again from Lindbergh. Stop and go pockets really all the way into Big Bend. Westbound 64, Science Center, headed out to Hanley, and then it's slow Lindbergh out to about Ballas after that. If you're on eastbound Highway 70, there's still a little busy spot through Bryan Road, K to TR Hughes, 94 into 270, 370 still backed up midway in from Newtown to the Discovery Bridge due to road work there. South 270 approaching Olive to Ladue, slow. North 270 approaching Gravois to Ladue, busy. Northbound 55. You still have the backup Union Road overpass up across River to Paris, still a little slow down there. And then east of 55 on 44 out onto 70, almost to the McKinley Bridge is slow. And westbound 64 heavy, both sides of 159. Next update at 8:30 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Thank you, Roger. Another big change in the weather today. Cloudy, not as warm. We'll have some rain, some thunderstorms possible as well. A high today only around 69 degrees. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms early, otherwise cloudy, breezy and warm overnight. A low 63 early. Temperatures are going to rise through the 60s, though, late overnight. By tomorrow, cloudy, windy, warmer, showers and thunderstorms still in the forecast, especially tomorrow afternoon. Expect a high near 79. Right now, we have rain, 55 degrees downtown at the Arch.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
You're listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Mercy St. Louis about to become the first hospital in Missouri to use a new sci-fi-like technique to destroy liver tumors without a single incision. KMOX health editor Fred Bottomer found out more about it when he spoke with Dr. Peter DePasco, a surgical oncologist at Mercy St. Louis.
It's a really exciting time for us as an oncology service to introduce histotripsy to Missouri. This is a completely non-invasive way to destroy tumors using focused sound waves. There's no incision, there's no radiation, there's no needles. We're essentially liquefying these tumors with precision, and Mercy is the first in Missouri to offer it.
It's called the Edison system. Tell us more about how it will be done. And it's a bubble clouds. What is that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's called the Edison histotripsy device, and it's by a company called Histosonics. And essentially it uses a tried and true technology, ultrasound type technology, in a very different and innovative way. And what it does is, as you described there, it creates tiny microscopic bubble clouds within a targeted tumor. And basically what that means in simple terms is it's using the fluid and water vapors that exist within our cells, because we're mostly made out of water, to create these little bubbles that instantaneously expand and then collapse. And in that process of expansion and collapse, that snap of the bubble popping, it creates a mechanical disruption. It breaks the cells that where it's occurring and liquefies it. It turns it literally into a liquid media. That's pretty remarkable.
How exciting is this for you and for patients?
Well, this is terribly exciting because, the paradigm of surgery is changing a bit. And I want to take one little comment to say that we're not replacing surgery with this. Traditional surgery still is the best option for many, many patients. But what this does is it provides a new option for patients that were either not surgical candidates or had tumors that were located in difficult locations that were simply too dangerous to operate on.
Can this process work with other tumors?
So right now, the FDA has only approved it for liver tumors. There are several trials in play to develop its use for prostate, pancreas, even future-reaching ideas like breast and other areas. But right now, kidney is probably the next to come along, so kidney tumors, and right now it is only for liver tumors.
When will you start using this at Mercy?
Imminently. We are in the final planning stages. The end of April, we should be going live, so it's tremendously exciting time for us.
And who qualifies for this?
So this actually opens up the door quite a bit to a lot of different patients that previously were not able to have liver surgery, as I said, for various reasons before. So anyone with a solid tumor of the liver can be evaluated.
How common is liver cancer, Dr. DePasco?
Liver cancer is one of the lesser common cancers that exists out there, but unfortunately the challenge is it's a devastating type of diagnosis. And it depends on which way you're looking at that. Primary liver cancer, folks that develop a cancer of the liver from the liver itself, is less common, but metastatic liver tumors, such as many people out there that have colorectal cancer, for instance, and develop a metastasis where the cancer spreads to their liver, this is applicable for them as well. And that's a very large group of patients.
That is Dr. Peter DePasco, surgical oncologist at Mercy St. Louis and chief physician executive for Mercy Cancer Services. It's now 8:27. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
It's Tom Ackerman for Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best. You know you have the very best when you're working with a company that has been in business since 1968. That's years and years of service to St. Louis, of A-plus ratings, of high reviews. People just love working with Chesterfield Fence and Deck, and why wouldn't you? Chesterfield Fence and Deck has the best materials, the best people, the best warranties, the best showroom, which is in Chesterfield Valley. Fantastic place to see all of the patios and pergolas and screen rooms and sunrooms and fences. Everything that they have is top-notch, and that's why they're the best in the business. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, covering the entire St. Louis area, even though Chesterfield is in their name. Highly recommend them. By the way, if you mention me, Tom Ackerman, you will receive 20% off your next outdoor project. Visit them online at chesterfieldfence.com. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case, Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZY.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. But our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
8:30, let's check the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Looks like it's still pretty busy out there, Roger.
Yeah, we still have delays, Megan. If you're headed into downtown on eastbound Highway 70, that's looking a little bit better, but there's still some slow traffic K to TR Hughes. 94 into Earth City. Westbound 70 a little slow around the city limits. 370 still kind of busy approaching 94 onto the Discovery Bridge. Southbound 61 a backup Wentzville Parkway to 64, which is still slow most of the way to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Annie Guns to about Timberlake, Lindbergh in through Big Bend. Westbound 64, that's pretty solid from the Science Center out through the city limits. Slow to Hanley. South 170 just kind of busy around Ladue to 64 in a couple of spots, not even a solid delay. North 270 approaching Gravel Oil all the way up to Ladue. South 270 Olive to Ladue still busy. North 55 Bayless to River to Pear. Eastbound 44, they cleared it, ended up being a stalled auto before Madison in the left lane. They cleared it, but 44 is backed up from Lafayette past the Poplar Street Bridge, and westbound 64, a couple of delays right around 50 through 159. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, we may see more rain and thunderstorms today. Looks like otherwise it's going to be cloudy, not quite as warm as it was yesterday, a high of 69. Right now we have rain, 55 degrees in downtown St. Louis. President Trump says securing the Strait of Hormuz is not for us, as he estimates the U.S. will wrap up its military campaign in Iran in 2 or 3 weeks. UCLA professor and Middle East politics expert Benjamin Rad says failing to secure the opening of the strait would make no sense.
But if it gives Trump an off-ramp to shift focus away from what have been the challenges of the U.S. operation there and then refocus on domestic concerns, because as it stands now, it doesn't seem to be helping the party, the Republican Party, in the polls. And with the midterms coming up, I think a lot of those in office are concerned about what effect this is having on the party as a whole and their ability to hold on to Congress. So if that pressure continues to mount and public support isn't there, then the president will have no choice but to unilaterally shift out of there, whether or not it makes sense. I mean, entering it under the conditions he did didn't make a whole lot of sense either in the eyes of many. So this is really just removing himself from a situation that many thought he shouldn't have been in.
What would happen to the Strait of Hormuz if the U.S. does simply give up on efforts to try to reopen it?
If Iran opens up the strait once the U.S. stops fighting, but if they don't get any guarantees or assurances, are they going to reopen the strait? Are they going to limit transit to vessels that are flagged from friendly nations? What is now considered a friendly nation? I mean, all of this remains unclear. And I think that's the risk if the United States just ups and leaves without any kind of an understanding or agreement to dictate what future transit will look like. So it does leave it unresolved, and I don't think it'll bring a quick relief to the energy crisis or the status of, I should say, the state of energy prices right now.
Red also says relations between Iran and Persian Gulf countries have been damaged because of the war and will be even more strained if Iran has full control over whether the strait remains open or closed. President Trump is scheduled to deliver an update on the war in Iran in a national address at 8 p.m. tonight, and KMOX will broadcast those remarks.
Pros, just because something on the job runs out doesn't mean you have to. Order it on the Lowe's app. My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get free same-day delivery on eligible orders over $25. Get the fasteners, hardware, or tools you need to keep the job moving. Order by 2 p.m. and get eligible in-stock items delivered right to your job site by 8 p.m. Members get more at Lowe's. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Subject to availability. Restrictions and terms at lowes.com/shipping terms. Subject to change.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Your Money Report now. It's sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Monica Ricks.
Stock futures are higher as optimism rises that the war in the Middle East could be ending soon. The S&P added 2.9% yesterday, its biggest gain since May, and oil prices are tumbling. Crude's now hovering around $100 a barrel. Oracle has started massive layoffs with plans to cut tens of thousands of workers around the world. Bloomberg reported the company's plan last month. It's cutting jobs to cut costs and focus more on AI investments. Shares of Lockheed Martin and Boeing are both up in pre-market trading ahead of NASA's highly anticipated moon launch today. It'll be the first in more than 50 years, and so far, the weather at the Kennedy Space Center looks good. And let this be your annual reminder. Be careful with alleged freebies and press releases today from companies. It is April Fool's Day, and it's become somewhat of a tradition in recent years to post phony stories online. Dunkin's free coffee giveaway today is real, but in the past, some fake stuff actually went on to wreak havoc on Wall Street. Monica Ricks, Bloomberg Radio.
Tom Ackerman here. Sure is nice to walk around the yard and see all the changes. The grass is coming in. Things are starting to pop out of the ground. And yes, the trees are going to be there. They are starting to get themselves back to what they used to be. Gamma Tree experts will come over and take a look and see if anything is different, if trees are not healthy, if limbs are extending too far. They can do all of the work for us and make sure that our trees stay healthy for the long haul. They are our living investments in our yard, and we love our trees. They know we love those trees. They're going to keep them healthy at Gamma Tree Experts. Gamma Tree has been in business since 1954. When it comes to tree care, look no further than Tim Gamma and Tom Gamma and their great company started by their father many years ago. Gamma Tree Experts. They're online at gammatree.com. Visit them at gammatree.com or call them 314-725-6159. Your trees deserve the best care.
Inflation is squeezing budgets, and global events can shake markets overnight. If you're close to retirement, you don't get unlimited do-overs. So this is not the time for, I hope it works out. That's why Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group are hosting an upcoming educational seminar called Retirement Simplified, April 14th and 16th at Bartolino's Twin Oaks. You'll learn how rising costs could drain your spending power, how political and economic headlines can impact your returns, dealing with issues like taxes, outliving your money, and long-term care. Find out if your retirement strategy is truly stress tested for today's economy. 636-230-8824 or at yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, or registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. The All Financial Group is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the U.S. government or any other government agency.
April is the perfect time to reset your home for the long run, and Universal Windows Direct makes that decision easy. Right now, when you buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, and there's no limit. Plus, you'll get 24 months with no payments and no interest, giving you a full 2 years to enjoy the comfort before you pay a dime, and a $500 bonus off your home improvement project. Universal Windows Direct has been great to me. They've been great to all of my listeners. They are absolutely the real deal. 314-334-2522 or universalwindowsdirect.com.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. A new international study finds that antibacterial soaps, wipes, and sprays are making bacteria more resistant to critical antibiotic medicines. Australia is considering bringing court action against Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and YouTube after alleging they're not doing enough to keep Australian children younger than 16 off their platforms. And world shares higher. Oil prices have dropped after U.S. stocks soared to their best day in almost a year over renewed hopes that the Iran war could soon end. Been a busy morning on the roads, a slow one at that. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, and we still have showers and thunderstorms moving through the area, Megan. This traffic reports the service of SNL Coin, so that's not doing us any favors. You still have delays southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway on to 64 to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. From east of Boone's Crossing to about Timberlake, from Spady all the way in through to McKnight. It jams McKnight through Hanley, then it starts picking up the pace. South 170, Brentwood to 64 slow, westbound 64, Science Center to Hanley heavy, and Lindbergh out through Ballas is kind of busy. South 270, Oliveville Ladue is off the pace. North 270 is bogged down from Gravois all the way up to Ladue. If you're on eastbound Highway 70, still a little busy. East of K to TR Hughes, 94 into 270. Northbound 55, just a little busy. Bayless Weber, 44 from The 55 merge up to the Poplars a little slow, and westbound 64, 50 to 159 is still crowded. I'm Roger Brand, and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
S&L Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call S&L. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. S&L Coin.
Roger mentioned that rain and storms. Looking at the radar this hour, it looks like they are moving toward the St. Louis region. They stretch all the way back through Jefferson City. Looks like we've got some strong ones in Herman and Troy, Missouri right now, headed in through Washington and Pacific. So just keep a heads up as you're out there. We'll see that throughout the day. Today, we're expecting a high of 69 and then more showers and thunderstorms early this evening. Overnight, cloudy, breezy, and warm, an overnight low of 63. Right now, 55 degrees downtown at the Arch. Thanks for listening to Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. President Trump has said he will be present for arguments in the U.S. Supreme Court on birthright citizenship. KMOX legal analyst Brad Young, partner at Harris Young and Kaiser, joins me now for our weekly visit. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning, Megan.
So justices are considering the president's executive order ending birthright citizenship for children of undocumented immigrants and some temporary foreign visitors. What does the Constitution say?
Well, under the 14th Amendment, Megan, it specifically states that someone who is born in the United States is a citizen of the United States, except for there's one phrase, and that phrase is subject to the jurisdiction thereof. And that is really the entire focus of the arguments today at the Supreme Court, is whether that subject to the jurisdiction thereof modifies the phrase about being born in the United States. If you go back to 1899, I believe, there was a case out of California with basically the same fact pattern about whether someone, an Asian American, a child who was born in California, whether that child was or was not a U.S. citizen. And the dissent in that case, even though the Supreme Court upheld that the child was born in the United States and was therefore a citizen, the dissent going back 100 and almost 130 years now specifically highlighted that phrase and said that if someone is here illegally, then their children are not subject to the jurisdiction thereof, and therefore they're not U.S. citizens. So that's what the court is going to be hearing today. And as you mentioned, it is unprecedented that a sitting president is there for oral argument, because this is the first time ever that that has happened.
Let's talk about court decorum. I can't imagine in the Supreme Court that there would be any kind of disturbance with the president being present. But if there was, what would be the rules as far as disturbing arguments before the high court?
Well, I can assure you that there will be heavy security there today for this. And the rules of decorum at the Supreme Court are exactly what you would think they are. You can't yell, you can't scream, you can't talk, you can't have signage, you can't protest. And so at the first inkling of there being any outbursts at this oral argument, those folks will be quickly subdued and taken out of the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court does not put up with that kind of activity.
I know we've got to get on to a couple other topics, but just really quickly, as a practical matter, if the court would uphold the president's executive order, what could it mean?
Well, that could mean that children, we have the entire, it's called the anchor baby, but the idea is that sometimes parents can stay in the United States, even though they're here illegally, if their children are born here. And that whole concept would be overturned if the children of illegal immigrants are not considered citizens under the 14th Amendment.
The Supreme Court ruled this week that states cannot ban what's called conversion therapy. They sided with a Christian therapist in rejecting a law from Colorado that prohibited mental health professionals from trying to change the sexual orientation or gender identity of LGBTQ minors. What was the basis of this ruling?
Well, the court ruled 8-1, so it was a very clear holding from the Supreme Court that this is protected free speech. So the state was trying to tell therapists what they could or could not say in the context of therapy sessions, and the Supreme Court ruled overwhelmingly that that is content-based restriction. In other words, the state was trying to control what the therapists were saying based upon the content of the speech, and that violates the First Amendment.
Now, Missouri does not have a ban like this. Illinois does. What happens in Illinois now?
Well, what happens in Illinois is that if there has been anyone charged under that statute in Illinois, then they would certainly be released immediately based upon this holding. And I would expect that no further individuals would be charged in any way or even investigated based on this ruling.
Let's turn to a local story here. Two women formally charged yesterday with perpetrating a hoax and sending local investigators on a pretty frantic search for a 5-year-old girl who actually didn't exist. These two women face misdemeanor charges. That's basically a max of 6 months in jail and $1,000 fines if convicted. A lot of people are asking, Brad, is there anything else that they could be charged with or ordered to do?
Well, at this point, prosecutors, I believe, have charged these individuals with everything that they can be charged with. Now, and I think that this is going to be a clear-cut case of knowingly filing a false police report. Now, the question is whether the court could order these ladies to pay back what the state incurred, because the state spent thousands of dollars. I think it was upwards of $17,000 in man hours and using police dogs and using other equipment. And there was a very hefty expense related to this. And that's the question, is whether the court will or will not order repayment of the expenses.
Now, this is really probably a crazy thought, really out there, but I'm really curious if they could face civil suits from anyone, because I think everybody takes these Amber Alerts incredibly seriously. It's frightening for the whole community. Could anyone level a civil case against them?
Well, you would have to show damages. As I'm thinking about this, I think you could create a situation where you could sue these individuals civilly if you missed something, if you were in a car accident because you were looking at your phone for the Amber Alert. There would have to be specific damages involved. And with that fact pattern, yes, I do think there could be litigation. But listen, the state has a very strong interest in punishing these individuals to the fullest extent of the law, because they don't want to create false Amber Alert ideas. They don't want people to say, oh, here's an Amber Alert, it's probably another fake one. So these folks will be prosecuted fully as much as the law allows.
Brad, thank you so much. Always good to have you on.
My pleasure.
That is KMOX legal analyst Brad Young, partner at Harris Young and Kaiser. Coming up next on Total Information AM, it's Unite With Us Days coming up from the United Way. It's a way to mobilize thousands of volunteers, and they need your help. Stay with us.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's Tom Ackerman. You know as well as I do, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters. I'm always careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. And my family has been working with the Laterman Law Firm for over 20 years now. The reason's simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way at the Laterman Law Firm. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs change. Circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time. They're outdated. They sit in a drawer. At the Laterman Law Firm, it is not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets. And then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date. That's why I'm comfortable recommending them to you here in St. Louis, the Laterman Law Firm. Check them out at latermanlaw.com or give them a call, 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Working full-time but still falling behind? Learn how real estate education can help you build income and get ahead on your terms. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Get ready to laugh out loud, St. Louis. The outrageous Broadway hit Spam-A-Lot is riding into the fabulous Fox Theater May 5th through the 17th. From the twisted minds of Monty Python, this Tony Award-winning musical brings you killer rabbits, dancing knights, and non-stop hilarity. It's the legend of King Arthur like you've never seen it before. More information can be found at KMOX.com/events.
Welcome back to Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. The United Way hoping for some hands-on help if you have a few hours to spare. Unite With Us Days is a community-wide volunteer initiative. To tell us more about how we can all get involved, Rick Skinner, Vice President of the Volunteer Center with the United Way of Greater St. Louis. Rick, thanks for your time this morning.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Good morning to you.
Good morning. This used to just be one day. Now you've expanded it. How does this work?
We have. So in honor of Global Volunteer Month, which is April, we wanted to expand the opportunity for people all across the community to make a difference in our community in a very special way. So we're calling it Unite With Us Days. Starting on April the 10th through the 24th, we have a host of volunteer opportunities that you can find that's suitable for your family, for your coworkers to come together and do a fun, engaging team building experience and make a difference in our community in a very short amount of time. So opportunities for during the week or during the weekend, whenever you're available. You can simply go to stlvolunteer.org/unite to find a really exciting volunteer experience in your neighborhood.
What can a few hours mean to a community organization?
It can, a few hours of time can mean a wealth of difference and making a tremendous impact in our community. In fact, some of the Unite With Us Days projects that we have range from, helping at a community center with repackaging food. We're working with Girl Scouts of Southern Illinois and Girl Scouts of Eastern Missouri to help with their programs and getting things ready for upcoming summer camp and things of that nature. We even have the opportunity for folks to participate in the world's largest robotics festival or tournament, actually, at the convention center downtown, where you can make a difference starting in late April. And it's something that where you can help in just for a few hours or so can make a difference to so many people in our community and making our community resilient and strong.
Rick, that was going to be my next question. How big of a commitment does someone have to make if they're interested?
That's the beauty of volunteering through United Way is you can find something that's long-term if you're wanting to make a long-standing impact, for example, being a mentor or a tutor to a young person, or if you just have an hour of time to commit, maybe you can do something for an hour, whether it's helping at a food pantry or helping at a senior center or helping people with disabilities or after-school activities, or even through the comfort of your own home. You can make a difference remotely, and we have lots of ways at stlvolunteer.org to find a way that aligns with your passion, your interest, your availability, and your skills. And most often, you'll find something that says, you know what, I really like doing that. I'm going to do that even more, and having that become a year-round experience through United Way's Volunteer Center.
I know a lot of parents who want to get their children into volunteering, to get in that lifestyle habit. Are there age requirements or limits on any of these?
There are some opportunities that are that have a specific age requirement because of the work involved, but there's many, many family-friendly opportunities, including those for Unite With Us Day, of course. So it just depends on each agency, but most often I think it's a great way for your listeners and parents who are listening to invite their children to volunteer in the community. At first, it might be, well, why are they making me volunteer? But then you find out, wow, I'm learning new skills and I'm having fun and I'm bringing my friends together and volunteering with them as well, too. And so it hopefully becomes a lifetime opportunity for folks to make a difference volunteering and then maybe later in life becoming leaders, serving on boards, serving on committees. It's a great way to help our community thrive.
So, Rick, tell us again how anyone listening can get involved in this.
Sure. You can register for any of the projects. There's so many of them on the website. Just go to stlvolunteer.org/unite. That's the direct address. Or you can simply go to stlvolunteer.org and find something that aligns with your time and talents and availability, and especially during the month of April, during Global Volunteer Month. We look forward to joining you.
Well, and just to make clear, you did mention their long-term opportunities. That website is always available, correct? stlvolunteer.org?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's with agencies that are funded by United Way as well as other organizations as well. So it's a community's resource to find anything that you want to do to volunteer in our community.
Well, hopefully we got you some boots on the ground in April.
We appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Rick. That is Rick Skinner, Vice President of the Volunteer Center at United Way of Greater St. Louis. Again, that website is stlvolunteer.org.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Lenseek.
Be kind to your eyes to protect your vision. While on a smartphone, adjust the brightness to the light in the room. And remember the computer 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, take a 20-second break to focus on something 20 feet away. Looking at a distance allows the focusing muscles inside the eye to relax. The Mayo Clinic also recommends blinking frequently to keep eyes moist and maintaining proper posture. I'm Margie Schaefer.
At Lenseek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lenseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.